Scourge McDuck, he's again played on Blue Pikachu for a while. Little Nick, you guys are familiar with him. Anybody who watches Purge stream, I think he was pushing him for a little while, but Guy has managed to just pop off. And wait, I'm going off about the
Yeah, he also had Justin Bieber, so thank you for that.
That is very good. Oh my god, the Raiders. It says Brokos Cube. Sorry about that. Long day.
Did I get my rosters mixed up? My goodness, Byzantine is way better.
I'm just gonna go off about
Little
the cut.
Nick. Wait a minute.
I'm gonna go about the cut so confidently that you guys are gonna be sure it's them playing today, and any banners in game are just the players messing with you. But no, Raiders not having such a good run of things right now. They just got their position 5 before the tournament started after the DPC rolled out. So still having, some issues with them getting used to having Light Shader there. Played with Bloody Mary in the past. Frogos is a veteran in NA Dota. He's played on Root Gaming a number of years ago. Wheelwreck While Wrestling. I'm sure you guys know that team as well.
Yeah.
Then AMB, Templar Assassin mid player, renowned for his TA. Probably something we're going to see banned out. And Cube, just another skilled Canadian offlane player. I've already gone off about how good Canadians are at Dota. So,
well, it sounds great, but unfortunately they have not scored a series yet. So we'll hopefully be able to kind of muster up a win here. Suns fans seem to think Arkosh are all talk and won't be able to get the W, but that would mean that the Raiders could score their first W. So with that, we also have a little bit of special insight here provided by none other than MLP himself. He's going to dive us through this matchup and where they currently stand in the league. Let's go ahead and send it over there now.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the MLP Spotlight, where we'll be having a look at this week's highlighted lower division matchup between the Byzantine Raiders and Arkosh Gaming.
Ganglo! Ganglo is underrated! Everyone makes fun of Ganglo! Chat says Ganglo! No! No, not true! Ganglo is good! Good! They tried to kick Ganglo from teams, but I keep showing up and they have no replace! Ganglo underrated. Support Ganglo.
We're still like a fairly new team, and we're still trying to discover ourselves, and understanding each other is still part of the process. I think the most recent player we acquired was Lightshader. He's position 5, and he's surprisingly old. We thought he was the oldest DPC player. He ends up being the same age as Fear. Started playing Dota only 3 years ago, which I thought was super impressive.
Of course, last week we saw the Byzantine Raiders go up against the likes of Team Felt, and while they were unsuccessful in their series, we got to see a glimpse of why their matchup up against Arkosh is set to be quite a competitive one. The Byzantine Raiders love drafting a lane-dominant style of hero, and enjoy playing 5-man Dota after securing a good laning stage.
We're playing like really straight up Dota. I think confidence is huge. It's like if you believe in yourself, you can make any like draft make sense. I think we're still trying to find ourselves, so it's hard for us to like go for these crazy picks or these crazy ideas.
Their drafts are usually quite snowbally, and they'll attempt to take control of the map by taking very early objectives. The Raiders are especially good at maximizing their smokes, and if they can catch you with your pants down, they are going to take you for everything you've got.
It's a warfare. You gotta be confident in every move you make, and when it's time to punish, when it's time to defend, you gotta go in and not be scared.
Ironically enough though, their main struggle does appear to be raiding the high ground of their enemy within their draft's timing, so we'll have to keep an eye out on that and see if they've managed to correct this going into their matchup up against the side of Arkosh Gaming.
Raiders make great fun about Arkosh Gaming. Need to
Speaking of the Devils though, what can we say about Arkosh Gaming? Well, they actually have quite a lot in common with the Byzantine Raiders. They're also a team who enjoy drafting around winning lanes and make map movements after the 10-minute mark as a team. Similarly, this team will maximize smokes and play around objectives. Are a team that enjoy drafting a much more cheesier style of hero, i.e. your Nature's Prophets, your Lycans and your Venomancers, and they also do tend to try and play some mental warfare by just talking trash throughout the middle of the game. These demons are going to go through any length to try and get the victory, and they are not to be underestimated. After all, they are being managed by somebody who did once come second place at TI. Of course, one of the big factors for Arkosh Gaming this week is going to be whether Gremlo has been fed, but judging by their last series up against Simply 2 based, we can safely assume he is probably starving. Will Arkosh be able to awaken this week, or will the Byzantine Raiders be putting them to rest? We'll find out very soon in this must-watch
vision. That's for sure. We started really badly, but if we can get up, I think we're gonna be a rolling machine.
It's MLP Dota, and I'll see you next week for our next highlighted lower division matchup for the MLP Spotlight.
Wow. Tremendous insight there. Thank you so much, MLP, for that bit of extra information here for the Arkosh versus Raiders matchup. Oh my goodness, I was laughing so hard. The stark contrast going from Gremlo on Arkosh to Frugos for the Raiders there. Frugos, who's, you know, handsome man, big beard. He's got a nice background, the little plant, the desk, and then you got Gremlo, who's tortured, trapped up, sounds crazy as hell. I don't know. It was hard to even digest where these teams still stand. I know that Raiders are looking for that win and are hoping to get not wavered too much by the mind games of Arkosh here, but Arkosh, as mentioned by MLP himself, hungry to get that win, Suns fan.
That's right. Gremlo, my favorite, him personally. If you guys don't mind, I do have a message from an unknown representative from Arkosh Gaming. Just going to read this out real quick as we get started with the draft. Diamond hands hold the line. All prize money goes to GME. Awaken, and yeah, that's another awaken. So 0 reference to the Dota 2 game at all, which makes a lot of sense considering their past performance. See if they can step it up this time around, gentlemen.
Neff, what do you take away from that? Because this team's saying that they should take what they have earned and bank it, and I haven't seen them earn really much of anything. So what is that about?
Well, the bottom 2 teams inside the DPC actually don't get any money, so Arkosh, I don't imagine, is going to have anything to work with to invest for that matter. I was watching the post, or that interview there. They in an insane asylum? It looked like an insane asylum they were sitting in.
Speed is dropping very low on that Naga. Is he going to go down? It looks like he will. He is dead without buyback. On to Mio. The Void Spirit also gone. And this game is looking to be over as Boris just slicing and dicing them up. They'll buy back. There'll be one last team fight. But they're going to have to do this without their position 1. Speed's buyback is still on cooldown, and now the dagger's flying out. The damage is just insane through the daggers. Giant's gonna die. A dieback on him. Sanity's being dropped. They want to dive the fountain, but the GG has been called. Speed has had enough.
Di sini supaya untuk nge-secure di arah triangle-nya. Berpositioning itu krusial banget menurutku. 3 hero melakukan smoke. Coba push kayaknya ke arah bawah. Taski kah? Nggak Taski dari tim Manu. Oh, smoke balasan kayaknya ini smoke balas smoke kan? Ya. Smoke balas smoke coba menuju arah triangle. Sementara itu tim A-Boys ada di sisi bawah. Belum ketahuan Odi yang paling depan. Oke, ketemu kayaknya. Coba dapatin backline-nya. Oke, siapa yang dapetin sonar? Aku nggak tahu. Odi sekarang belum punya BKB. Itu benar masalah damage-nya. Cukup berhasil untuk membunuh Odi. Writing coba di depan. Coba nge-deal damage. Berhasil dapetin 2-3 lebih tepatnya. Backline. Oh, Sand King langsung lari gitu aja. Kena efek. Ada. Oh, IO sendirian coba untuk TP, belum ada yang cancel dan berhasil untuk TP. Nggak berhasil, 4 orang kena Right King tumbang tapi masih punya reinkarnasi. No Sense King harus tumbang juga. Tim White ke arah tim Dog. Nggak mungkin mereka melakukan kontes kecuali si Sand King mau untuk melakukan steal. Tapi itu bukan keputusan yang bijak sih. Scan-nya masuk. Oke, udah hidup. Udah ada Odi juga. Apakah mau di steal? Kena silent jarak Sand King, kena green coil juga. Sand King harus tumbang. Roshan-nya belum down. Nggak bisa nge-steal. IO di sisi yang lain coba untuk didapatkan stun ke Undying. Belum berhasil. IO-nya langsung lari gitu aja. Nanti Prophet Scroll ke arah IO kah? Nggak, ternyata masih punya Scary. IO dan masalah BKB nggak akan bisa menyelamatkan nyawanya. Tapi relocate keluar. Odi di sana di sisi lain coba untuk membantu. Coba untuk dikejar, masih punya BKB. IO-nya nggak bisa dong. Odi berhasil untuk selamat, tapi IO nggak akan. Sepertinya Rasta di sebelah kiri coba untuk melakukan, nggak bisa untuk membantu apapun. Cycle ke arah depan, berhasil untuk membunuh satu, dominating streak. Jelas Odi berhasil mati, tapi IO di sana dalam masalah berhasil untuk dibunuh. Tim Wave di arah tim Dog, dan kita akan masuk ke game selanjutnya. Posisi sekarang 1-1, Electro Boys versus Dog.
Is there on albino, but the flip, he's going to dispel that silence into a 3-man ice path, and the macro pyre. They'll get Annihilate, but Boris, he's going to jump. Mio is getting bursted down and does go down as Z-Freak controls the rest of the Earth Spirit. And Boris just crits down the Imperial one hit. Giant, he tries to Dark Rift out, but Monkeys forever. It's just way too much damage, and now Boris is there onto the Naga Siren. That'll be speed going down. And Z-Freak is looking for the last one, and he has found him. Double A trying to escape with the Clinicate. Z-Freak only one stone left to use.
It's under attack.
They spotted for a second. Trying to TP, but you've got the roll there from Z-Freak. Thing is, it doesn't really have much help. Empyrean is finally going to come in. Boulder Smash and Silence is there into the Aeon Disc being propped. He's still trying to run away. Zebra actually going to be able to walk away here. Annihilate not going to go too far. To pop that BKB charge. Aether Remnant not going to land a Zebra. A nice Silence on the Neo. Just so much damage, and now the Yules catching out Giant. Boris has a stun in 1 second. Shoots the Astral into the Meteor Hammer. Giant once again has no way out of this. He's just double A. Oh, Z-Freak, he rolls in again. He finds speed on the rig. There's your egg from Empyrean. Everything's just perfectly placed, and they are just going to burst. No way out. For Electronic Boys as I Annihilate. The backlines will get albino Zebra, and they call the GG. This game, it's gone. There is no coming back from this. And 2-based. They've done it again, John. Another 2-0 victory for themselves. In terms of series, still undefeated. And with the Meteor Hammer actually did enough damage.
It did. Oh goodness. I Annihilate.
He just walks off. He's like, I know I got this kill. Ready to commit this ultimate. Be fine.
Oh, you know the painful thing? That's another power that I Annihilate picked up. Another haste he makes use of. Just no rune control from E-Boys so far, costing them a ton. And they're going to have to give these stacks away to Giant as well. So you're not going to have that recovery stack for speed just yet. And the battle queue is still a long way off though.
Freak gonna move his way in, does spot out a very low Giant. He might be able to kill him off, but no, they do have the Hood of Defiance. The Freak with the Magnetize, trying to refresh it, trying to get the damage out. They do Astral up the Earth Spirit while Albino Zebra goes on to Annihilate. Speed chases him down. Annihilate trying to man fight this one out. They do kill off Albino, but Annihilate does also die. Back off, but Mio for a bit of a chase.
Odi nggak bisa relay. WK seorang diri Apakah Fusha reinkarnasi? Reinkarnasinya masih ada Undersound tapi gue lagi Natur melakukan bantuan. Belum ada damage yang masuk. Meteor Hammer connect kah? Nggak connect dong. Meteor Hammernya langsung lakukan Blink Dagger. Scarf datang untuk membantu ngezoning seorang Odi. Damage-nya belum ada yang masuk. Belum ada yang melakukan terhit kalah. Oke, Natur TP. Odi dalam masalah 3 hero di sana coba untuk dapatkan dia. Tapi nggak, seorang Witch Doctor yang mati duluan. Odi, IO-nya hidup. Mencoba untuk melakukan support relay dan berhasil. Witch Doctor working harus lari relay, berhasil buying time. Working dalam masalah stunnya connect sekarang, kena efek juga. 3 hero tumbang dari sisi boys. No, it's gonna be bad for team boys. Oke, Inggris order lagi. Seenggaknya dia dapetin apa namanya, dapetin bounty lah. Oke, 4 hero tumbang. War yang cukup keras kayaknya. Relocate masih punya BKB, berhasil untuk keluar. Sementara itu tim Dok semua ada di atas coba untuk dapatkan creep tower kayaknya. IO yang dituju, IO nya terlalu keras, masih punya Heart of Taras, berhenti regenerations. Speed yang dituju nggak dong, speednya, damage-nya cukup. IO bunuh White King, bukan hal yang bagus untuk seorang White King. Teman-temannya datang untuk membantu, nggak berhasil untuk melakukan ulti dari seorang Sun King. Berhasilkah dibunuh? Enggak, BKB dipopol dari semuanya. Teska datang untuk membantu, dia juga dapat di arah atas.
From an unknown representative from Arkosh as we get started with the draft. Diamond Hand. All prize money goes to GME. Awaken, and yeah, that's another Awaken. So 0 reference to the Dota 2 game at all, which makes a lot of sense considering their past performance. See if they can step it up this time around, gentlemen.
Neff, what do you take away from that? Because this team's saying that they should take what they have earned and bank it, and I haven't seen them earn really much of anything. So what is that about?
Well, the bottom 2 teams inside the DPC actually don't get any money, so Arkosh, I don't imagine is going to have anything to work with to invest for that matter. I was watching the post, that interview there. They in an insane asylum? It looked like an insane asylum they were sitting in.
Yeah, Gremlo I think is locked up. Yeah, they keep him locked up until game time, apparently.
Makes sense. I am also a little bit surprised that you guys were willing to give Gremlo another interview after last time. I'm sure both of you remember that, but equal opportunities here in the NADPC and at Summit, of course.
It's slim pickings, unfortunately, for Arkosh's media crew. The rest of them are doing God knows what outside of actually playing Dota. So Gremlo is, unfortunately, since he's pinned and locked in a room, he's the best option we have.
I see. Yeah, makes sense. It is hard to get players for interviews, so locking them down is one of the better ways of doing that.
Yeah, he's still much more outgoing, provides more than a lot of Dota players, so we'll take it still. But we do have a draft, gentlemen. Let's get into it. Arkosh, are they all talk? Or can they actually play here? They step up to the plate with one of the greatest heroes in the game, gentlemen, the Keeper of the Light. Gotta say, I like that one, of course. But the Rubik in response, anything you can do, I can probably do better. Not a bad response there.
Void Incarnate.
Yeah, now, into a Void Spirit, which, I mean, kind of the difference between upper and lower division heroes being kind of prioritized. I think Coddle was just banned every time, right? In the upper division for the most part. We rarely get to see that. TA first ban, I know it's probably a targeted ban, but still, to get that out first when there's so many counters available to it is a little bit surprising.
Radiant team.
I mean, AMB is a specialist at TA. Get rid of that. Just get rid of Luki's Pangolier. What I'm most surprised about is that OD made it through the draft here. That hero gets picked up first phase, first ban almost every single game. Nobody wanted it here. What do you guys make of that?
10 seconds.
OD I think is mega OP. I can only base it on my personal pubs, which Arkosh Gaming is only slightly a step higher than that, of course. I believe Sir Action Slacks is their coach now. If nobody's announced that, so things have just plummeted
really?
since that actually took place.
Goodness.
And I know he doesn't like Odie, he doesn't like Windrunner, he doesn't like Centaur. So these heroes probably will never be picked. But the question is, why not ban it? Because the other team is probably capable in using it.
No, they grabbed Rubik on the Raiders here, which is one of the more common counters to OD. Just the extra cast range you get having 650 Astral Imprisonment at all ranges, then the bonus you get from Arcane Supremacy makes it very easy to save anybody who tries to Meteor Hammer afterwards, and it just goes so much further on Rubik. But they just went with Keeper of the Light Void Spirit on the side of Arkosh, so maybe you're right. They just following Slacks' drafting. That can't be a good move. I mean, Arkosh is struggling enough as it is to follow Slacks' advice. That's insane.
10 seconds.
Well, I would imagine
He's a
they'd be following it to a T. Seeing something like Techies or Omni
5
come out a bit more
seconds
gentleman, but
True.
you know,
This is true.
so he must have some say, but I don't think he's pulling all of the strings. I imagine the crew are still getting a bit of what they're feeling more comfortable with on their own. But you're right. How much Slacks' pull could be a very scary pull at that. But you're looking at...
If they ever fully listen to him, then we can expect a Warlock Brown Boots Ags refresher. The gates
10
with
seconds
no
remaining.
wards bot, of course.
Dire team
Is that
back.
the Gremlo special? Just go off laner, get boots, run into the enemies, end up with several deaths, and somehow manage to cut creep waves and win the game on occasion. It's surprising how much he does with so little after the laning phase. You guys catch the game he was playing Venomancer? It's like 5-6 minutes into the game, you're sitting at level 2,
10
struggling to
seconds
kill
remaining.
neutral camps because he can go anywhere close to the lane. That was some
5
wild stuff.
seconds.
Gremlo and his Venomancer, man. He really loves that hero. Is it a he? Has it been even...
Oh.
Is that in the lore? I don't know what the gender is, actually. Maybe ask Slacks about that next time he's on. If they win, we can have a
maybe we'll,
post-game interview with whatever the representative is.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Dire
That is,
team
if they win, that is a tall order given Arkosh's previous performances, as you've said here, Suns fan.
Very true.
More targeted core bands coming out. Look at this. PL, Jug, and now even Slark being taken off the table. Seems like they want to get something that wants to go toe-to-toe,
10
but doesn't
seconds
want to
remaining.
deal the likes of any of these picks that could potentially better them. So, not really
5
sure what that
seconds
means, but
remaining. Pick.
could just be a lot of respect to Arkosh's core side. Maybe feeling like their core player is probably the best one they have.
They ban out the Juggernaut, the Slug, and the Phantom. The thing that they all have in common is you're playing against a Bat Rider, so all of them are being able to dispel the sticky napalm. So it's probably going to be an off-lane Bat. That's what they have going. Lifestealer is
10
still an option,
seconds
but
remaining.
almost nobody runs Lifestealer right now. It's just dead hero.
5 seconds remaining.
Last series, somebody banned it. Last ban. I was so
Really?
shocked. Yeah, in the upper division, and then they got Ursad. So instead of banning Ursa, they banned the Lifestealer, which was very strange indeed.
Seeing,
But looking at their past games, answer this, Neff, but I see 2 out of their last 3 games, Arkosh has picked Tusk, one of the few teams that is prioritizing this hero, which has been left untouched thus far.
Now, I can touch on that because people are picking up a lot in lower division in China, which I've also been covering. Well, there it is. Okay, Sunsfan is too good. He's done his research. I mean, very...
Open the
Very
page and went, there's Tusk twice.
Thank
What do
you,
you guys
Dota
think
Buff.
about that? It was great timing, though, and
10
you're absolutely right.
seconds
I mean, if we could have easily predicted it by doing that simple bit of
5
research,
seconds
I
remaining.
imagine Raiders could have done that themselves. I hope it's something they anticipated for, but you know, they slightly picked up that ogre in the meantime. Tusk is nice. It offers that bit of save because when you already commit to a Coddle, Coddle doesn't have anything really for the Bat Rider.
It keeps them. It can keep them inside Coddle Will-O-Wisp as the game goes on too. It's an aggressive position 4, so it makes up for Gremlo feeding a lot of the time, which is a really big issue with the team. You know how he just ends up going 0 and 8 by the end of the laning phase a lot. Although he came back that other game, he was Venomancer, ended up being one of the strongest heroes in the game. Pretty wild. But a lot of time it's run with things like Viper and just extra slows on top of slows, and
Radiant team back.
taking out, I guess, weaker safe laners. They pick up an Ursa, so it's a lot of early aggression here on the side of Arkosh.
Yeah,
Interesting.
in your face action here with the old Tusk snowball with Ursa and the new Orb of Corrosion, which I think is utterly
10
broken, by the way.
seconds
But I'm
remaining.
a melee are melee players, so not really
5 seconds
complaining too
remaining.
much. Pangos, you typically pick that up as well, so they're going to have one for each side. But the real question is, what is your what position is Bat Rider for
three probably.
Byzantine?
Okay,
So position 4. Wait, then what is Pango?
Pango probably mid.
They actually play him mid. Oh yes. Okay, this is my. Okay, maybe I'm rooting for Byzantine. Oh, goodness.
They don't play Bat Rider mid at all? Bat Rider mid had been a thing before. I mean, I guess you already see it's a Void Spirit there, but I don't know. Yeah, without seeing too much of the Raiders play, all I'm seeing is that there's a fair amount of flexibility here, as Sunsfan pointed out. 2 offlaners at least.
You ban out 3 counters to the Bat Rider that are safe lane heroes, so it probably means you want to throw them into the offlane. You can flex it if you want to and put the Pango in the mid lane if you have to, but given how many bans you spent on that one, you have the favorable matchup against the Ursa. You don't want him getting close to you, but you can build up those stacks on him. They don't, they picked up both their supports, so they can't get an Oracle to dispel the sticky napalm stacks either. It's probably going to be an offlane at this point. They need either a carry or they need a really hard carry here, actually. They're lacking both tower damage and physical damage here on the Raiders. I'm concerned who's going to fill.
All right, gentlemen,
both those.
It's time for Troll Warlord. Has he been banned yet? All right, just listen up, okay? Troll Ags. I don't know if I've ever mentioned Troll Ags before. Dakota,
have you ever mentioned this before? I don't know if you've mentioned this before.
Right, Troll with Ogre Magic, you get your fervor stacks up faster. Troll is really good now against Ursa because you can continually use Whirling Axes despite that amazing Enrage ability from Ursa. You can only use it once unless he gets his shard, which that's not really a thing until much later in the game. I like Troll a lot right now, guys. A lot.
Remaining.
I think we had this discussion last time I was on the panel, and then it ended up just going the battle for Sanj and Yasha, and it was a horrible, horrible game for the Troll Warlord.
Yeah, you have to against Ursa. I think you have to go Ags. I don't think it's just not me memeing. That's I think legit. Like second, like I've seen some people try to go for like 3rd item, but I think against something like an Ursa, 2nd item would be needed if they even go for Troll to begin with. I mean, who's left from like position 1? Because Ricky's been taken out, Morphling. There's Life Stealer. Oh, that's true. Yeah, Wraith King is good as well.
Popular carry right now is a full.
They already have
10 seconds remaining.
the Ursa. Kind of rough, right? Or Wraith King beat
5
Ursa?
seconds remaining.
Eventually. I mean, you play very fast. They also need something that can stand in front and hit towers, doesn't just get blown up. I don't know how they ran out this draft against the lineup here on Arkosh at this point. They've kind of drafted themselves into a corner. There's no one hero that solves all their problems. Ricky might have...
I like that Nature's Prophet ban, though, because if you don't have an answer for what you got, he's a plan B, essentially. But, okay.
Whoa!
There's your dispel.
Okay. Yeah, you got a really good potential save, although the range on a Photic Shield's not that great, but obviously you can just hit that R button if you're the one that's... I mean, they're never going to lasso Abaddon. That's a very interesting pick. Oh, like, what position is he then? Is this an off lane? With
Abaddon Coddle would be fun. Just keep juicing him up.
5 seconds remaining.
Well,
I love Abaddon.
You're forced to run the Bat Rider to the mid at this point because you don't want to put him against the Abaddon. You're never going to get sticky napalm stacks up onto people. He's just going to shield them off whenever that happens. So that was a pick out of nowhere. You've wasted so many bans now trying to counter out anybody who can play against the Bat Rider here. Raiders, they straight up outdrafted at this point. There is no real solution to the lineup here on Arkosh now.
Yeah,
I mean, there's still that Troll Warlord, guys.
Oh.
I don't know if I've mentioned, but the Troll Warlord Aghanim Scepter also dispels enemies. So you can take off Overpower, very strong indeed. You can take off Blinding Light on yourself. There's a lot of applications for it here. Of course, Void Spirit Ags does make it quite annoying, but that's what you get SNY after. Well, everything's taken care of, gentlemen. All you got to do is pick it.
I can feel them very angry. Oh,
God, I'm good.
All right.
God, I'm good.
We'll see if it ends up paying off, though. I think we're going to see exactly what we saw last time we saw Troll.
Would have been so sad. I hope that build up it was something else, but call. There it is. All right. So with that, are you riding that Troll with a prediction there? Sam?
You know what? I love the Abaddon a lot, but just because I made such a big deal out of Troll, I'm gonna have to go all in here. Byzantine. I don't know if they've won. Have they won? I know they haven't won a series, but have they won a game yet? Is my question. If not, this will be their first victory. They have not won a game yet. This will be their first victory. I'm riding all in on Troll. OP
All right,
ag.
for you, Neff.
It's got to be Arkosh. I don't like seeing him win, but here they are. Better lineup. Great way to round things off. And Troll Warlord, he's not going to do it against Coddle.
Awesome stuff. All right, why don't we go ahead and quickly get to a break and send it over to our commentary team now. We have MLP, John X Fire, and special guest Sammy Boy joining on the mic. Let's check it out after the break.
Thank you. Hype game.
Nope, I'm here.
Prepare for battle.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the NADPC Lower Division. It is, of course, MLP Dota and John X Fire and special guest Sammy Boy. Sammy, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic, Sammy, and I'll have you know that's the first time my analyst has ever asked me how I'm doing, so thank you for that. John X Fire never asked. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Mike, and I could care less about how you're doing because we've got a game on hand. Arkosh up against Byzantine Raiders. Byzantine is the pronunciation of the American pronunciation, please, as we've discussed before. And this is going to be an interesting one. Troll last pick here for Byzantine. Sammy, you're a core player. You play POS 1. How do you feel about that Troll? We see it a bit more, I think, in Southeast Asia, but not too much here in NA.
Yeah, I think it's a really strong hero. I think it's probably one of the only picks they could have picked that would round out their draft as it did. So, I mean, I really like the pick. I think that surprised how late it made it in the draft. As it ends on carries as well. I was surprised you picked 24 Troll. So, I mean, I do think it's a really good pick.
The battle begins.
Definitely the best available, I think.
I found it pretty interesting as well. Neff was pretty confident about it, that Warlord, and obviously they ended up picking, excuse me, not Neff, but rather Sunspan was confident about the Troll pick coming out. Was correct with it as well. Overall, though, with the drafts, Arkosh, I believe it was Neff saying that they have the better draft. Do you tend to agree with that, Sam?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they have a lot of good synergy, obviously, with Coddle Void Spirit plus a Tusk. It's going to enable them to not only tri-lane, but also play off runes. And not only that, I think they just have the counter picks. Abaddon versus Bat Rider, obviously, and really strong laners to kind of punish the Pangolier, punish the Bat Rider as well.
Absolutely. Of course, we'll have a look at the mid lane. Canis Vulpus up against Alien Banana. On paper, you would assume the Bat Rider should have the advantage in this mid lane. It looks like Canis, for now, not having too much of a tough time on the Void Spirit. Anything to look out for here? I mean, apart from the power runes, do we expect anything to happen early on, or is it just even trading too?
I think the mid lane's going to be pretty even. This is kind of a very 50-50 matchup where both sides of the matchup are going to be pretty happy, probably trying to farm. I think it's going to depend on the runes. If Void Spirit's able to maybe get a lucky DD or lucky haste, and same for Bat Rider, might be some action. But besides that, should be pretty relaxing.
All right. And we already see a bit of a pull happening here from Crow on the Tusk. Light Shader is there to try and dissuade him from going any further, but there was a full creep wave deny, I believe, apart from 2 creeps that went past from Crow, and looks like he's going to try and go for it again. Light Shader is going to follow him down and try and be as annoying as humanly possible. Surprisingly enough, Crow looks like he's given up on it. He's bringing it back into the lane.
This top lane... Oh.
They are going on to Gremlo, but I highly doubt they're going to kill him off on the Abaddon. Sorry, John, you were saying?
They've shoved in the lane. Like, there are 2 range creeps now for Gremlo to soak some EXP off of. Murder has still been finding some last hits, but you know, this Abaddon now at level 2 has the curse up. They could look to jump in perhaps with Crow. I think the Crow, they're going to wait for level 2, level 3 on Tusk to get some aggression up. The slows that come out here are pretty potent, so I think that's something Byzantine's going to have to watch out for, even if they've got that tanky group.
Yeah, absolutely.
So much XP.
Both of these off lanes are playing really aggressive. They have tons of creeps built up. Probably gonna see some power diving, some action. See how it goes.
Hopefully, I mean, even
there's
bot
a
lane.
triple range creep built up as well. It'll be interesting to see what Pale Horse does here.
And it will be. He's gonna stick around. He's copying a few tower hits, but he's gonna try for the denies. And looks like he's probably gonna get away with most of them, though no, he doesn't get that one, and he won't get the second either. Frugos will be able to secure the other range creep. So both offlane is getting a hell of a lot of XP and gold underneath their tier 1 towers. We do see Goat going for a small camp pull as we speak. Frugos is going to try and be a little bit disruptive here. Having a lot of trouble as well, like with this draft from Arkosh, I really do not see Byzantine Raiders being able to lock Pale Horse down throughout this game on the Ursa.
They only really have lap, so I guess they've got the lift combo, handle your roll, but you're always worried about that Abaddon in the back. There's just, as mentioned, a lot of answers on hand, and Pale Horse is already looking to just poke a bit. Not too much aggression early on these lanes. I think you have to look at Arkosh top. They're starting to make some moves on Light Shader, but he is pretty tanky.
He is. They've got the tag team going, but I highly doubt they kill him off. Maybe with the Curse of Avernus, but no, he does get away, and now Murderer are going to try and turn around and punish them for this. I don't think he can really overextend here, and he will indeed back off. Still looking pretty darn good in the safe lane for Murderer, at least with his 20 and 4 in terms of last hits. And it looks like the rotations are being made into the mid lane, where Crow is still chasing down Light Shader. The Aether Remnant is there to block his way, but he does make his way around it. And Light Shader, nice shards out from Crow, is going to lock him in. And that will be the first blood going out to Arkosh Gaming.
Alien Mana is able to pick up a regen rune on the other side of the river, so it's not too bad to give up the 5 position kill like that to secure the rune. Obviously it is a first blood though.
It still sets up Alien Man Banana. Like, first bottle refill, regen up, Canis Volpus has been sort of keeping the lane in check, but you are at that spike now for the Bad Rider, and he has his lane shoved in. There's a little bit of a shove going, he can cut into those camps, and this is where that Bad Rider shines, just highly efficient across the map, no matter where he is.
Yeah, this hero farms faster than basically any other mid laner in the game right now. It's really crazy.
Bot lane, a bit of a fight over the bounty runes. They're going to go onto Q-Bay, but he's going to be able to swashbuckle out of there, and Frugos does manage to get the rune, but more heroes are incoming. Crow, another nice shots out onto Frugos, and he is going to die, giving the kill away to Pale Horse on the Ursa. That's for him.
Arkosh really like these roaming fours. They use these tusks, these earth spirits really well to go between moving from the mid lane to their safe lane and trying to give Pale Horse a really good start to, you know, maybe tempo some early aggression. I think it's something Arkosh is really good at.
Pale Horse has had a pretty good time with it.
Yeah, there is a lasso. Fire Blast is going to fly in. Canis Volpus is going to go for the Dissimulate and Astral Step out, but Alien Mana Banana wants to keep chasing. He's going to try and maybe turn around here onto Light Shader, but he's just playing games with him. Not going to back off, but they are going to wait for those 6-minute power runes now. Top rune spot, it is going to be there. So Canis will get an Invis rune now, and perhaps we can expect a bit of a rotation to come out of him very soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Top lane Gremlo.
It's that spike for the Void Spirit. Oh.
Gremlo might be in some trouble. He might get hit by the axes here.
He may. Murderer. Doesn't connect the slow. Does. Gremlo. Oh, that's a nice shot out from Crow. Really nice shot down from Crow, but now Light Shader's here with the Fire Blast, and Gremlo is still going to die. Crow is going to run away, and well, that was really starting to look like a very nice play, but it does not really work out in their favor.
Pro on point with the blocks. Murderer is getting a lot of space up top now. Like, he's starting to find that steady build up on farm, going for the battle fury with the phase boots. What do you reckon about that? Like, are we going to see that early Ags build up? I think Ag's second pick has been the trend in other regions. Is that pretty good here for Murderer with this spell?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Ags is really important this game. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, I would prefer a Maelstrom into the Aghanims. I think when you go Battle Fury into Aghanims, it feels like your second, third items never come past the right? You just want an Axe, but then you also probably want an SNY. So I'd probably prefer to see like a Maelstrom into Ags here, and then you can maybe pick up SNY or BKB afterwards.
Sounds good.
See if Murderer does get that along. Still waiting for a few spikes here, like 2 to 1. Any specific timing you're looking for? Maybe for Arkosh, like they've got that Coddle, they've got Tusk. Do you want more activity coming out, or are you happy at the pace so far? 10 minutes in.
I think Arkosh definitely feels content with the pace. They have a Coddle, so eventually the Coddle is probably going to take bot lane when Ursa wants to make the move to top to start applying pressure. I think that'll probably be the first move to look out for. On the side of Byzantine, though, I think the Batrider really wants to get active. I mean, we see Canis Vulpus going to the bot lane with an Invis Green Card.
Cubey is going to be in big trouble. Pale Horse misses the slam, but they got the 8th Remnant. And he does swashbuckle up to the high ground, but he has no way out. Canis Vulpus does manage to pick up a kill, and looks like he will make the rotation back into the mid lane. In fact, they might find Alien. Firefly looks like he's going to be alright. Maybe. Light Shader, Fire Blast, Goat, perhaps going a bit too far. You don't have the Firefly. We'll be alright.
The Batrider is really close to his bots, so it'll be interesting to see if he jungles back the base and then maybe keeps to a side lane with these bots to look for a play. Might happen on bottom even, as Cubey is close to 6 as well.
Plays are expected here. We still have Crow hanging around just in case. Now, they're just going to wait out those BOTs as Alien Man and Banana are going to go back into the neutral camps, and he's just going to finish it off there. Stacking happening here from Frugos just to really escalate that a little bit. I suppose Arkosh should be aware of this timing though, right? Like, they should be pretty darn aware that those BOTs are going to come out, and Alien Man and Banana, who still has the lasso, should be making a play very, very soon. But
yep.
Arkosh,
there's a smoke
they
up,
seem
or
to
not
know.
smoke, invasion into the tri-camp. Looks like they're trying to wrap around this bottom tier 1. Interesting for sure.
Top lane, meanwhile, Gremlo was falling very low, but back down to the bot lane, Cubey. He caught now with the slam. He does go for the swashbuckle, but the snowball is going to be there from Crow, and the Rolling Thunder going to be blocked off by the shards. A great play from Crow, but they can't finish the kill. Cubey, 25 HP, he will roll his way out.
Look, they smoke up as well in Byzantine Raiders, knowing that there was that movement out.
This is a really great grab if they can connect. They're looking for the Ursa, but I don't know if they're going to find them. They might go for the supports.
Go Bounty Rune. It's going to be claimed by Crow for now. They're still having a gander. Canis Vulpus, he might be a great target. The lasso not going to be there yet. In fact, the 8th Remnant now locking him down. He does get the lasso off now, but the snowball is going to follow him up the staircase. Can they get the kill? Well, Light Shader, he'll be the first one to go down. And of all things, Canis Vulpus, he just runs out of there scot-free while Cubey is going to be chased down by Pale Horse. Another great chance out. The swashbuckle is going to be there to get away. And in fact, the sticky napalm is making so Pale Horse is getting tired as Murderer is going to come in. Instead is there. He has definitely gone too far, but a nice snowball out Crow, getting him out of danger. And Gremlo needs to make a run for it, but he does have borrowed time as Alien Man and Banana going to try and trigger it and just run away. That might just be it. They are out of spells to throw out. What a team fight.
I was very impressed by that, actually. Both teams seem to playing it pretty safe, not overcommitting, you know, just trying to poke at the enemy, and, you know, that's a result. We see that nothing actually happens, but that's actually generally good Dota.
That was the smoke being broken under that ward on the cliff as well, so not being able to connect like that would have been way better, as you mentioned, if they found at least one of the supports at the start. You're starting to see some frustration here, perhaps, from Alien Man Banana. That's what, his second lasso with no kill?
Yeah.
He must be wanting to find something now.
I think the path that they took was a little odd. You know, they're taking 2 different directions at once, and it leads to the smoke popping on one side while the other side isn't really ready. We see an invasion, forcing Pale Horse probably back into the tri-camp, and Pale Horse smartly makes the TP top, and I look to apply some pressure.
Is under attack.
I hope that Byzantine responds to this by going bottom and trying to apply pressure there. It looks like the Troll is kind of sitting there, but the Coddle is going to be able to hold this versus the Troll for a very long time, unless they actually bring resources there. Looks like instead, it is something to defend top with the Rubik TPing up.
They do have Cubey and Light Shader behind.
I was going to say, you don't really agree with that decision, right? Like, Frugos moving up towards the top lane to try and defend, probably not really worth his time. And
I think it's okay because he walked away. If he stayed there and sat under his tower and really in this, I think it was but, you know, as you see, he walks mid. Now the Batrider is able to TP bottom, and so the Rubik is actually going to be able to soak the mid lane while his team makes the 4-man play to bottom. So I think it's actually fine.
Nice little heads-up play from Goat as well on the Coddle. He backs off at the right time with the 4-man rotation that was coming in from Byzantine Raiders. So they're not really even going to be able to get a kill out of this rotation. They're just going to have to try and settle for the tier 1 tower. But I believe Arkosh... Uh-oh. Yeah, he has Goat. Finding a line. He's going to give him some time. Alien Mana Banana.
They missed the flame break.
Not going to be able to catch him.
Yeah, it's close.
Structures are fortified.
And with that,
Radiant structures.
yeah, Arkosh goes to the mid lane.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Try and defend. Cubane does come in. Rolling Thunder is available. An Alien going in for a lasso attempt, but they can't catch Canis Vulpus. They might have to settle for Gremlo, but the borrowed time is going to be popped and healed pretty much all the way up. They just can't kill anyone.
Yeah, it's a very stable game from both sides. I think it's because Arkosh has a lot of save. You know, this Abaddon, this Tusk have both been doing great jobs at making sure that no one actually gets lassoed or hangly or stunned, whatever.
Yeah, they've also been able to move around enough that Pale Horse is just kind of left alone up top now. Like, they do finally get some heroes up top to check their jungle, but his farm has been steady on that. Ursa doesn't have his Battle Fury yet, but is still, you know, one part away. Slightly slower than her Troll, but he did build into his treads first. What are the timings we're looking for between the Ursa and the Troll? Like, are you expecting the Troll to be fast earlier, or are we expecting more aggression earlier on from that Ursa?
I think both heroes actually play a very similar tempo. Obviously for the Ursa, the first timing is probably going to be his BKB or Blink Dagger for whatever he decides to go. Probably a BKB this game. Control is probably going to be that Agate Scepter.
It's going to be a big team fight. Canis Vulpus mid lane does jump in and does jump back out. Pretty much scouting everyone on the side of Byzantine Raiders. With that Arkosh, they can make the decision as to whether they want to back off or keep going. As far as I can tell, they have all their spells up if they really want to. It looks like they're just happy forcing the rotations out from the Byzantine Raiders.
Yeah, it's making it really difficult for Byzantine Raiders to maximize this map. They have to group as 4 every single time. Only Murder is getting any real space. We talk about Alien Man Banana, right? Like, he's smoked up again. He's got the travels. What... does he need a blink pass? He's saving prop for the Yules, and he might get your smoke broken here.
To be honest with you, I think he should just go BKB. There definitely will be a engagement here. Jump on Canis Vulpus. And a lasso. He might die.
No, he doesn't though. Astral Step is going to be there in time, and he does manage to use another to get away, but Murderer is on Pale Horse. Enrage is there. He's just trying to run for now as Goat is going to hold them back. And once again, Arkosh, they will just not die. Nobody wants to go down, and they might just turn around now. Like, never mind, they are going to go get a reset, but this does seem quite detrimental for Byzantine using all this time and all these resources and just not getting anything.
I think it's okay, especially because they were able to get Pale Horse to come to that. I don't know if Pale Horse wanted to come to that. It looks like he got recalled, but mid lane, Murderer is just going in.
Adding up, but I'm not sure about this near the tier 1 tower. Shayna also going to be there with the rest of the team. But Goat, he's just going to spam Illuminate and hold them back. I don't know, Byzantine Raiders, it looks like they're going to commit to this. Arkosh, should they take the fight?
They're really going for this.
He is. Alien Man and Banana there as well. Canis going to Astral Step again, and now Crow goes in for the Walrus Punch. They are still going onto that tier 1 tower with the Siege Creep. Of course, the Bloodlusted Siege Creep is there. Crow for an initiation, but doesn't have shards. Gremlo, borrowed time going to be popped, and now he's been lifted up. He is in danger. Aphotic Shield is going to be up, and a nice snowball there from Crow, but they're going right into the depths of hell. No, it is not. Murderer going to turn back around, but they're still all alive as Pale Horse now coming back in. They kill off Crow, but there goes Light Shader. Canis Vulpus, the Pale Horse is falling very, very low. The Enrage, the Aphotic Shield, they're trying to make him survive. The Illuminate for Pale Horse is going to go down. Alien Man and Banana, he also dies. Murderer is still trying to take. He might find Goat here on the Keeper of the Light, but it looks like he is going to be just fine. But finally, a bit of a victory here for Byzantine Raiders.
Ooh, that's a lot of commitment down mid. Does pay off. Seeing a lot of value from Frugos. You just wait for that Abaddon to use the shield, steals it up. It's very hard to just switch off the shield because of the cast point of the Abaddon. So a lot of utility from the Rubik, and this is one way for them to fix that up. You're still not happy with Alien Man Banana though, like he still wants to live through these fights, but you are finding more in Murder. Yule's almost done now, and they're still focusing down mid, like this commitment for both sides down mid, just a Mexican standoff here, Sammy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting that both teams are bringing so much value to this mid tower, and we see that a lot in higher tier Dota, but in these lower divisions I've seen a lot more chaotic Dota where people are running down side lanes, but it seems like both of the teams are really prioritizing this mid tower. They're playing around it well, and the fights are really close, so definitely a really interesting game. And anyone can take this.
Going up to the Batrider with an Orchid that he has up. Get the kill.
Oh, might be in trouble here.
Out though. Shards perfect onto Murderer. He does pop the drums and he's going to go for a bit of a run. Murderer is going to jog right behind him, but Canis Vulpus is not going to leave Crow behind. And that's actually an interesting build-up from Canis. I believe we usually just skip the Orchid altogether and go for the Ags, right? On the Void Spirit.
Sometimes you do. I think when you want more, solo kill potential, and the Orchid is generally better, and the Aghanim is more for team fighting. I think they are trying to kind of avoid team fighting until later in the game anyway, so I don't mind the Orchid. I think it's definitely something that could go either way. To be honest with you, I honestly would have preferred a Yules. I think the Yules is really useful in stopping the Pangolier roll, stopping the Troll when he presses ulti. The Yules would just be really useful in saving his allies, and not only saving but also setting up.
And speaking of setting up, they are sort of clumping top, invading that jungle for a bit.
Lane.
So,
Gremlo, he's in a bit of danger, but he's got the borrowed time, so I think he's going to be all right to walk out. And while that was happening, Arkosh, they're going straight to the Roshan.
Straight into
I
that
think Byzantine Empire should know about this. They're pinging it. It could get really crazy if the Pangolier rolls in right now. Looks like he's not to be fast.
It was too fast.
Yeah, it was really fast.
Way too fast. That's be a big boost there for Pale Horse. He's saving up for his BKB. You talked about some early BKBs. Early BKB on Ursa. That's just going to allow him to stand and fight. You reckon the timing's going to be pretty good? Murder is still saving up for that SNY here.
Yeah, I think this BKB is going to be a big timing for them, especially to at least secure the mid tower, but I think more, maybe the top tier too. On bottom, Murderer might get caught.
He's been orchided up. He can't pop the battle trance yet, but no, the chance! Oh, Crow, a bit of an error there, and Canis Vulpus, he might die for this. That'll be his first death of the game. Oh, and I didn't see that shards missing like
on the
that.
Mid lane, Q might go down.
Mid lane, he may. The pushbuckle away, Essence shit, and the roll. He's gonna be fine. In fact, he's gonna not turn around. He is gonna make it up the stairway. Just fine. Very, very scary though in that mid lane for Cube. Is now Gremlo.
Gremlo is really
has borrowed time. He is.
They have a Yule as well.
Time there. Very aggressive, but now the lift is there onto the Abaddon, and he should just die.
Oh man,
you can see Arkosh
out of nowhere.
The split up. They're playing alone. The Abaddon's playing alone mid. The Void Spirit's going for a play bottom. I'd like Arkosh to, group the heroes a bit more, play more together, especially once you're getting into the later parts of the, game, 20 minutes plus. It's weird that they played so grouped early, but then they start splitting up at, when they have the Aegis, and they should probably be using this Aegis to be strong somewhere on the map. Seems like everyone is content on Arkosh to just farm and split up. Very odd.
And they're being punished great by Byzantine Raiders. They suddenly have a 3-2k lead, 6-6 on the kill board. SNY done on Murder, so the Ags is up next. A major spike for the Troll. The progression for Pale Horse, despite that early space, he's not quite matching up to the same pace as Murderer. What do you reckon Arkosh needs to do now? They're constantly smoking up though. Like
they're smoking to the opposite side of the Ursa, which is very weird to me, right? You have this Aegis, this is your strongest hero at this point in the game, but you keep smoking bottom. They might find the pick on Cube, but even this kill, I would say, is kind of a low value kill. I'd probably rather just go top to connect with the Ursa, and you can probably take this tier 2 top for free as well as tower.
Bit of an interesting position here from Arkosh as they do start moving towards the dire triangle.
It
looks like they're looking for a fight. Byzantine Raiders going to move behind their tier 1 tower in the mid lane, just being very defensive, understanding that something is awry from Arkosh. But they're going to get the tier 1 and probably back off here. Shards. gonna land.
Looks like Byzantine are trying to fight this. Rubik is TPing in as well.
Well, they're committing. Murderer, Orchid immediately being popped, but Gremlo, he cops one hit. Then McCabe's gonna save him. Once again, the Raiders, they'll hold on to that mid-tier 1 tower. It is a lot of heroes rotating for this, but they make it happen.
Hanging on at 199 HP, still not giving it up. And we're still seeing that sort of Mexican standoff mid. Should it be the BKB? Are we looking for the Abyssal now, or is it going to be the Ags for the Ursa?
I think we're going to need a BKB. You'd like to get a Basher as well, but I think the BKB is so important in this game. I'm not sure you can afford to go Basher before it. I think it might end up looking something BKB into Basher and probably a Blink Dagger. Gremlo into
lane. Same position every single time, Sammy, and Gremlo. He's going to make it out, but the borrowed time is going to be popped. Luckily for him, a very low cooldown ultimate to have on the Abaddon, so he just waited out, but I'm wondering, what do you think Gremlo's up to here with this very far forward positioning? He seems very confident with his survivability in that mid lane.
Gremlo, at least in all the Arkosh games I've watched, is pretty solid at controlling areas of the map and trying to put himself in the enemy's face. But on a lot of his, I mean, Venomancer, for example, one of his favorites, Nature's Prophet as well. But he tends to put himself just a bit too far up and gets punished a lot for that. And that's kind of what we're seeing here, I think. I think he also probably could have died that time if the team had committed to it.
Canis gonna go straight onto the troll now. No BKB available on that troll. Warlord's been silenced up for the battle trance. It's gonna come in time, and now a great lasso out, but it is perched up by the Abaddon. Aegis is gonna go down on the Ursa. Still going to keep this fight up. Arkosh, they are rushing into the supports. The snowball does come in from Crow, and they do take down the Ogre. Onto another, they want Cubey, who does blink towards the north. That may have been a bit of an error as Cubey now trapped up, but no, a great swashbuckle out. And now Murderer going to come back in. On the go. They want the Ursa as well. The payoff, he's pretty healthy. Back onto Cubey. Another swashbuckle there. He is definitely getting kited right now as Gremlo. The Boris is going to kick in. They don't have battle trance anymore. Murderer, he's overextended. He does get blown up. Back onto Alien Mana Banana, who is going to run out of Firefly very soon, but the Yules does save his life. And that may just be it unless Canis catches him up, but no, Frugos. A bit of damage. Slam is going to be there. He does actually astral the other way, but Gremlo is going to be able to kill him off. And now Light Shader also going down. Byzantine Raiders, they took about a second there to just try and back off, and it does cost them 2 supports at the end.
The troll kind of overextended into the enemy team, and then once the troll dies, the rest of the fight gets really difficult because that's kind of the front of your fight.
Yeah, it just didn't shape up. We saw Murderer overextend quite a fair bit. Our Ursa now, Pale Horse, he's actually saving up for the Abyssal first. So not going for that BKB. Might leave him a bit vulnerable, but he seems confident. And he even has a blink on hand, so he's going to have a lot less of a kiting issue. I guess. They have that Abyssal up as well. And Arkosh just looking on top. Busy. They've won a couple of fights. They're 3k behind now. Is there, like, what do they need to do to fix this up? It's just not quite lining up cleanly for them right now on the Dar side.
I think they committed basically all of their big spells on this Aegis. If they hadn't been fighting into an Aegis there, right, this fight starts actually with an Ursa dying. And I think they should have accepted that this Aegis is what they're getting. They used Pango Roll plus Lasso, killed the Aegis, and then all you gotta do is run away, farm the map, chill, wait your cooldowns, and then go again. I think they're still in the same position where if they find a good target with the Lasso and it doesn't get counterplayed by the Abaddon, they can still win basically any fight, especially because the Ursa doesn't have a BKB yet. Rugas might get caught in the top lane though.
Yeah, he's caught all right. He's going down. Horus punch there, and Gremlo does take the kill. They are committing to this tier 2 top tower.
Murder is peeking in. They're going to try to smoke around and find a fight here. Very interesting.
Definitely seems very aggressive here from BR, but are they going to smoke? No, they decide better over, but Pale Horse, he pulled straight into them for a second.
They decided bad. It was definitely a weird TP for Murderer to TP there and then, you know, farm back to where you were anyway.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Just very keen. I think he feels confident now with the Ags pickup done on SNY, Battle Fury, Ags up. He is a little bit harder to kite, although the silence is still going to be deadly, and you can see Murder save for that BKB himself next, which should help the cause. Well, Byzantine Raiders still, they're down a couple of towers here. The map is sort of shrinking down. Arkosh a bit back and forth in these fights, but they are getting a little bit more for their other cores. What's the game plan now for, say, Arkosh, right? Like, they lost Aegis. They do have the blink up on Pale Horse. They haven't really used it yet in any fight. Do they just wait for the Abyssal at this point in Pale Horse and just jump in with that double mobility on the Ursa, or do they want to jump now with just the blink?
I think the blink and the basher would be enough. I assume he'll buy out the basher. I think it's just about playing off vision. Whichever fight or whichever team has good vision for the fight is probably going to win. I think if the Ursa is able to find a good initiation on either the Rubik or the Pangolier, the fight is going to be really hard for Byzantine. But on the other side of things as well, right, if the Bat Rider is able to find a nice initiation on either Void Spirit or Ursa with the Abaddon not close, it could also be a very easy fight for Byzantine Raiders. So I really think it comes down to A, execution, and B, playing around your vision.
Radiant are scanning.
We'll see if they can pull that off. That Basher has been bought out, and could be prime time for that smoke if they want to. They are kind of split up, though. You can see Crow and Canis Voltus playing bot, and it's actually Byzantine that smoked up. So again, they want to...
Gremlo's in a good
that
position.
Execution.
You back off for now. Byzantine Raiders still smoking through the Radiant side jungle.
This is kind of an odd smoke.
There.
It's because where their lanes are, right? They have top lane all the way near their base, and they have bottom lane also shoving into them. Like, bottom lane has negative lane pressure, meaning that it's shoving into them, basically. So both their side lanes need to be responded to, which makes any smoke they make, really, really obvious. And the other side of things, this Arkosh smoke is a lot scarier, right? Because Arkosh are the ones with positive lane pressure, and Byzantine feel the lanes, which will likely give Arkosh an opportunity to find a pick.
He's there to break the smoke. He does get a ward down, but he's going to get burnt straight off the bat. And now the snowball onto Alien and Banana. Shards can lock him. He does have the Firefly. Canis Voltus go back into the Ratlines. Gets Light Shader. That'll be 2 supports down. Rather, one off lane, 1 support.
Good recognition from Byzantine to back up. That fight was definitely not going to go well after it starts on the... Oh, Rugas is in trouble.
He is. Pale Horse going to spot him out and gets another kill for himself. And I believe that'll actually set them up to be the first into the Roshan pit if they so wish.
Roshan...
Yeah, they've got that opening. Like, there's a pretty long response on a couple of those supports. It is a bit long for Roche, half a minute, not too far off. Couriers are scouting out now.
Dire's middle tower.
Again, just a bit clumsy here, and Arkosh just keeping the pressure. They bought out some smokes. Like, they've been trying to play with the Zags. Like, how else do they execute now? That's been the main issue. What else do they need to execute? Because they're just not finding these openings. Their lanes are just not working out.
It's all about setting up the map so that these smokes have a higher percentage of connecting, right? Which means getting out your side lanes first, using the Bat Rider to play the map. I think the Bat Rider's been honestly doing kind of a poor job of playing the map. Look, top lane, he might get initiated on.
Dire's middle tower.
James, he's got him in the 8th of Remnant. Orchid going to be there as well. No BKB, but he does have the Yules to purge the silence. Now the lasso's there. Kane is himself, but so is the Bat Rider. Meanwhile, the Die jungle, there's another fight breaking out. Murderer, he played on the keeper of the line, but the snowball's going to be there by Crow into a great chance to lock him in. But here comes the rolling thunder from the backside. He's going to try and go onto the Ursa, but he does have the aquatic shield and the enraged Canis. He is still alive. He comes back in to join the team fight, but nobody will die. Team's going to back off for now as Remlo.
Mana Banana is really far forward.
He does go down as Remlo is still running away, but it looks pretty darn good for Arkosh. They're going to reinitiate now. The buyback is there from Goad. They go onto the Troll Murderer. He does pop the Battle Trance. Can he kill Crow off? It does look like he should be able to, but meanwhile, can he kill He looks like he will, and he does, as we do see the jump back in from Pale Horse.
But I don't think this fight's going to go well, because Pale Horse needs to get out of there.
Yeah, he definitely does, but he's gone. An ultra kill out from Murderer. Maybe Canis Voltus going to just run away. Cubey now going to catch him out, and now the Rampage coming in. Goad, he does port back. McKay, aware off. That vision should have seen him. The observer was there on the cliff, but they're going to leave him be. They're going to get to Roshan. No rampage necessary here for Murderer. That'll be Roshan going to the Byzantine Raiders.
And that's going to be big. They expended buybacks early. Arkosh do not have numbers to come in. They might catch Frugos.
They might be able to aim both supports with no buyback here. It could be two really big kills.
He's diving for this. Goat is not actually going to tick out. He was 25 HP away, but Light Shader. Cape again going to save the days. Now the shards come out from Crow to lock him in, and Light Shader needs to go the long way around, but they jump in with the tag team now. And the snowball. Gremlo there.
Well,
you go down.
Top tower is under attack.
Little out of position there on Light Shader, going for some cheeky plays.
Indeed it was. They still got the Aegis though on Byzantine Raiders. I suppose even with those deaths at the end, they are probably still very happy.
Absolutely. Whenever these fights get really long and the Troll Ag starts getting abused and the Pangolier constantly being able to disarm and Rubik constantly being able to throw out all his spells, all this sorts of stuff, as the fights get longer, it definitely gets easier. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, there's that TP here. I'm not sure what he's...
He gets the ensnare rather than the enraged leaps as Crow going to come in to try and help out. Canis Vulpus also going to be there. The Aether Remnant does lock down Murderer. They may have the tier 2 tower keeping them pretty darn safe, but Murderer, he wants to keep going. He does have the battle trance, the Aegis. But now Crow is going to be the only one to drop as they chase for more. Frugos, a nice blink in. Does get Canis Vulpus, but the Dissimulate going to allow him to get away. And instead, they'll have to settle for the bottom tier 2 tower.
I think Arkosh needs to do a better job at getting the thing to dodge his Aegis. You know, Pale Force TP's bottom, and now he's going to draw his whole team bottom to kind of protect him there. And they should probably just be trying to dodge, play the other side of the map. Because as you can see, now the Troll is going to go high ground. Pale Horse has no TP. He's top lane. This is actually a really big deal for the Tusk has no buyback as well. This could be game losing.
Do they have the recall? It doesn't look like they do right now. He hasn't popped the ultimate yet, but Canis Vulpus pops his own BKB, trying to get out of there. Murderer in trouble, but they are. Murderer is going in though, onto Gremlo now, but the borrowed time is going to be there.
Murderer's chasing really far in the base. I don't think he wants to go this far.
The battle trance is dragging him all the way there. As now Bay still controlling up Gremlo. Pale Force needs to jump back in. They do get the Abaddon. Murderer's willing to fight the battle. The rate is going to wear out. They do as Gremlo a run away with the buyback. Bay, nice stun out. Canis Vulpus is going to get caught. Illuminate, going to fly through, but with the Aegis, you'd assume Murderer just keeps going, and he does. He wants the tier 3 tower at least. There's basically no buybacks left, apart from Pale Horse on the side of Arkosh Gaming right now. Going in, back onto the con.
And he instantly dies.
And he does. Another nice kill, 2 dead without buyback.
Tier 2's up. Will only be one set of racks. Gonna have to reset, go take the other tier 2s from the side of Byzantine.
Yeah, they do still hold that Aegis for the next push though. Like, they save that Aegis. The cheese was popped by Murderer, but, you know, the BKB is still up 9 seconds. He's gonna have his Basher up soon. The Troll is starting to be an issue. It's now Arkosh's turn. Like, they've been overextending a couple times. Pale Horse, he's still saving up for the Abyssal.
Change the BKB, that's smart, it's smart. Definitely gonna need the BKB.
Should help him out in standing in the front. You do have certain things coming out here as well. The Aeon Disc up in QV, so you can stand a bit more. Although Murderer.
Murderer has a DD rune.
Jason still has the Aegis. Oh, he's been caught out now though. Maybe this is a bit too far as the Aether Remnant gets him, but perhaps Arkosh assuming that he had his team behind. And it did. The smoke rotation out.
It's really difficult to go on this Troll.
Takes a smoke immediately, but they jump back into it.
He might die right away.
He does. His Light Shader also getting caught out now. The Shark's not going to lock anyone in, but they're willing to fight. Murderer going to have to try and man fight this one out as the lasso is there, but it's not going to last too long. Pale Horse does survive through it. Now the battle trance there from Murderer back onto the Usurpity Enraged. Going to keep him safe with the Aquatic Shield. Very fast, but they're doing it very, very slowly, please. The Snowball is back now onto Murderer. They want to keep fighting, but they do lose Crow. And now Pale Horse is back from massive trouble. He's trying to survive. He does die, and Canis Vulpus also going to go down. No buybacks left. Frugos is going after Goat and catches him with the Aether Remnant. That is 4 down with a buyback. If the Raiders notice this, they might just go for tier 4 towers.
Yeah, they might. They know the supports have no buyback. I don't think they know about the buyback status of either Pale Horse or Canis Vulpes, but you know, they may try to force Stone anyway, and I think they are. They still have this Aegis for... Well, maybe it's expiring now actually.
Yeah, not too long left in that. But the troll does powers fast with this right click damage, so they're gonna go for it. And yeah, Murder's just gonna go for it. They're confident.
Aegis is out, however, so no Aegis for this Stone attempt.
Very dangerous stuff. The glyph is going to be fought. Or go back to the mid-racks.
Pale Horse got a good front to play that fight.
Yeah, costing its buyback, and they have the Ag Shards up on Light Shader, so they've got some slightly more durability from that shield coming out on their courts in the front, reflecting some damage back as well. Just insane utility coming out from the Ogre now.
I think Byzantine are recognizing that they're not going to be able to take this Stone and backing off smartly. I really like this call from them. Obviously, game pretty much under their control at this point, and now all they have to do is stay group. Don't give the Arkosh team the ability to find you by yourself, and the game should be pretty easy from here.
They are very close to getting their first win of the lower division, and it's going to be pretty nice for Byzantine Raiders if they can get this done. Of course, Arkosh, they are demons after all. They're not going to make it easy. They are going to start moving their way through the mid lane, back into the triangle. They are going to hold on to the lane of rats, and it looks like both teams are just going to try and secure those tier 4 items now. See who does a little bit luckier. Arkosh, I think they are going to need quite a bit of luck now because it is looking very, very rough.
Yep, a lot of big item pickups. Smoke from Byzantine, they have Abyssal on Troll, as well as an Octarine on the Rider, so big item pickups there. They also have an Aeon Disc, plus Prism on the Pangolier, so Pangolier looks huge. The Smoke is looking to connect on the Abaddon.
Gremlo does break smoke. Canis going to catch out the troll with the Aether Remnant. Murderer still going to rush in. He has that Abyssal to use, but he wants to find a different target. He will get...
Pale Horse is very aggressive here. He click it all the way in. He gets lifted immediately.
This one, he gets he's been taken down. Battle Max is going to be there, taking out Pale without buyback onto Gremlo. He just keeps attacking. The weapons is going to be there, but Cubey, the Rolling Thunder, they will get go. Everyone just trying to retreat here from Arkosh, but they call the GG. They have had enough, and Byzantine Raiders will be able to pull off their first victory of the lower division for the NADPC.
Yeah, spectacular performance from Byzantine Raiders. A lot of back and forth there with Arkosh, and you know, the Troll does deliver. Like, it hasn't been having a good time here in NA, at least based on the records of the pick so far here. It does show up.
He does pop the battle trance. Can he kill Crow off? It does look like he should be able to. Meanwhile, can he keep it? He looks like he will. And he does, as we do see the jump
Arkosh
back
is
in
using
from
all the
Pale
climax,
Horse.
but I don't think this fight's gonna go well. Pale Horse needs to get out of there.
Yeah, he definitely does, but he's gone an ultra
maybe
kill
a
out from
rampage.
Murderer. Maybe Canis Voltus gonna just run away. Cubey now gonna catch him out, and now the rampage coming in. Goad, he does fall back. McCain, aware off. That vision should have seen him. The observer walk there on the cliff, but they're gonna leave him be. They're gonna get to Roshan. No rampage necessary here for Murderer. That'll be Roshan going to the Byzantine Raiders.
And that's going to be big. They expended buybacks early. Arkosh do not have the numbers to come in. They might catch Frugos.
They have,
might be able to
but
finish both supports with no buyback here. There could be two really big kills. As the fights get longer, it definitely gets easier. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, there's some TP here. I'm not sure what he's...
He gets the ensnare, rather than leaks. Is Crow going to come in to try and help out? Canis Voltus also going to be there. The Aether Remnant does lock down Murderer. They may have the tier 2 tower keeping them pretty darn safe, but Murderer, he wants to keep going. He does have the battle trance for the ages. But now Crow is going to be the only one to drop as they chase for more. Frugos, a nice blink in. Does get Canis Voltus, but the Dissimulate going to allow him to get away. And instead, they'll have to settle for the bottom tier 2 tower.
I think Arkosh needs to do a better job at actually the thing to dodge his Aegis. You know, Pale Horse TP's bottom, and now he's going to draw his whole team bottom to kind of protect him there. And they should probably just be trying to dodge, play the other side of the map. Because as you can see, now the Troll is going to go high ground. Pale Horse has no TP, he's top lane. This is actually a really big deal for the Husk has no buyback as well. This could be game losing.
Oh, do they have the recall? Oh, he's been caught out now, though. Maybe this is a bit too far as the Aether Remnant gets him, but perhaps Arkosh assuming that he had his team behind. And it did. The smoke rotation out.
It's really difficult to go on this Troll.
Ross takes the smoke immediately, but they jump back into it.
He might die right away.
He does. His Light Shader also getting caught out now. The Shark's not going to lock anyone in, but they win the fight. Murderer going to have to try and man fight this one out as the lasso is there, but it's not going to last too long. Pale Horse does survive through it. Now the battle trance there from Murderer back onto the Ursula Rage. Going to keep him safe with the Aquatic Shield. Very fast, but they're doing it very, very slowly, please. The Snowball is back now onto Murderer. They want to keep fighting, but they do lose Crow, and now Pale Horse is back from massive trouble. He's trying to survive. He does die, and Canis Voltus also going to go down. No buybacks left. Frugos is going after Goad and catches him with the Aether Remnant. Secure those tier 4 items now. See who does a little bit luckier. Arkosh, I think they are going to need quite a bit of luck now, because it is looking very, very rough.
Yep, a lot of big item picks. Smoke from Byzantine. They have a Abyssal on Troll as well as an Octarine on the Rider, so big item pickups there. They also have an Aeon Disc plus Prism on the Pangolier, so Pangolier looks huge. The Smoke is looking to connect on the Abaddon.
Gremlo does break smoke. Canis going to catch out the Troll with the Aether Remnant. Murderer still going to rush in. He has that Abyssal to use, but he wants to find a different target. He will get...
Pale Horse is very aggressive here. He's clicking all the way in. He gets lifted immediately.
This one he gets he's been taken down. Battle Trance is going to be there, taking out Pale without buyback onto Gremlo. He just keeps attacking. The Whip is going to be there, but Cubey, the Rolling Thunder, they will get go. Everyone just trying to retreat here from Arkosh, but they call
very dead. Doesn't even get the ulti off. Big third. And they're right by road. They can just go for it. Have Serpent Words avail. Fine. Fourth and fine to take this.
On the broom. I think they will try and go in and make them busy. Respawns. Out scouting scouts, what happens.
Fade! Cross jumps him!
Still worth it.
Die a second time, but out of the hands of YG. Fade!
Yeah, there are the tips even from the enemy team because it was a big one. Just delaying that. Slam into the old.
So they have to wait for that team to really be comfy. They do have a Hex up now as well on Annihilate though. So they've got additional control coming in here for the side of 2 base. widening that lead. 10k up now on the side of 2base. That's with your Naga Siren on E-Boy side at 28k net worth, 2k above the PA. It's just that 2k at this point in the game is not much. It's not even a full item already.
Smoke on smoke, John, but they have the high ground advantage. Z-Freak, he's going to break the smoke, but make the jump in. E-Boys, they want to fight with a great song out from Speed to set up a nice path. They drop the Will-O-Wisp onto 3 heroes. They are trying to get away, but Iron Island immediately bursted down by Speed. Meanwhile, Z-Freak trying to fight this one out. Boris jumps. There goes Albino Zebra, but Boris, he's dropping very quick to Speed's damage. Speed doing its work already. Boris gets Rotovate tossed up, still making the blink strike in, does kill off Double A, is still on the run, gets the blur off as well, and he just dispels everything as he just TPs in front of Speed's face. Answers there on Albino, but the flip, he's going to dispel that silence into a 3-man Ice Path, and the Macro Pyre. They'll get Annihilate, but Boris, he's going to jump. Mio is getting bursted down and does go down as Z-Freak controls the rest of the Earth Spirit. And Boris just crips down the Victoria on 1 hit. Giant, he tries to Dark Rift out, but Monkeys forever. It's just way too much damage. And now Boris is there onto the Naga Siren. That'll be Speed going down. And Z-Freak is looking for the last one, and he has found him. Double A trying to escape with the Clip Cape. Z-Freak only 1 stone left to use.
It's under attack.
He spotted for a second. Trying to TP, but you've got the roll there from Z-Freak. Thing is, it doesn't really have much help. Empyrean is finally going to come in. Boulder Smash and Silence is there into the Aeon Disc being proc. He's still trying to run away.
In song that's going to be a bit nasty to fight into and could complicate matters for the approach into the high ground. So you're seeing the effect of the high ground hold here of E-Boys, and they're not too far away from that here for Speed.
I think we've lost John. I believe he's back. John, are you back?
Okay. Yes. And
light's breaking out right now. They just jumped in straight onto Speed. Speed is dropping very low on that Naga. Is he going to go down? It looks like he will. He is dead without buyback. Onto Mio. The Void Spirit also gone. And this game is looking to be over as Boris just slicing and dicing them up. They'll buy back. There'll be one last team fight. But they're going to have to do this without their position 1. Speed's buyback is still on cooldown, and now the dagger's flying out. The damage is just insane through the daggers. Giant's gonna die. A dieback on him. Sanity's being dropped. They want to dive the fountain, but the GG has been called. Speed has had enough. The Meteor Hammer actually did enough damage.
It did. Oh goodness. I annihilate.
He just walks off. He's like, I know I got this kill. Ready to commit this ultimate. He's fine.
Oh, you know the painful thing? That's another power that I Annihilate picked up. Another haste he makes use of. Just no rune control from E-Boys so far, costing them a ton. And they're going to have to give these stacks away to Giant as well. So you're not going to have that recovery stack for Speed just yet. The battle view is still a long way off though.
Freak gonna move his way in, does spot out a very low Giant. He might be able to kill him off, but no, they do have the Hood of Defiance. The Freak with the Magnetize, trying to refresh it, trying to get the damage out. They do Astral up the Earth Spirit while Albino Zebra goes on to Annihilate. Speed chases him down. Annihilate trying to man fight this one out. They do kill off Albino, but Annihilate does also die. Back off, but Mio for a bit of a chase. Zebra actually could be able to walk away here. Annihilate, not going to go too far. To pop that BKB charge. Aether Remnant not going to land a Zebra. A nice silence on Neo. Just so much damage, and now the usual set catching out Giant. Boris has a stun in 1 second. Choose the Astral into the Meteor Hammer. Giant once again has no way out of this. He's just Double A, Z-Freak, he rolls in again, he finds Speed on the rig. There's your egg from Empyrean, everything's just perfectly placed, and they are just gonna burst. No way out for Electronic Boys as I Annihilate. The backlines will get Albino Zebra, and they call the GG. This game, it's gone. There is no coming back from this. And 2-based. They've done it again, John. Another 2-0 victory for themselves. In terms of series, still undefeated. And with he does pop the battle trance. Can he kill Crow off? It does look like he should be able to, but meanwhile, can he kill Crow? He looks like he will, and he does as We do see the jump
Arkosh
back
is
in
using
from
all their
Pale
climax,
Horse.
but I don't think this fight's gonna go well. Pale Horse needs to get out of there.
Yeah, he definitely does, but he's gone. Ultra
maybe
kill
a
out from
rampage.
Murderer. Maybe Canis Volta's gonna just run away. Cubey now gonna catch him out, and now the rampage coming in. Goad, he does fall back. McCabe, aware off. That vision should have seen him. The observer was there on the cliff, but they're gonna leave him be. They're gonna get to Roshan. No rampage necessary here for Murderer. That'll be Roshan going to the Byzantine Raiders.
And that's going to be big. They expended buybacks early. Arkosh do not have the numbers to come in. They might catch Frugos.
They have,
might be able to
but
aim both supports with no buyback here. It could be two really big kills. Stuff. As the fights get longer, it definitely gets easier. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, there's that cheeky here. I'm not sure what he's...
He gets the ensnare rather than being released. As Crow going to come in to try and help out. Canis Volpus also going to be there. The 8th Remnant does lock down Murderer. They may have the tier 2 tower keeping them pretty darn safe, but Murderer, he wants to keep going. He does have the battle trance for the ages. But now Crow is going to be the only one to drop as they chase for more. Frugos, a nice blink in. Does get Canis Volpus, but the dissimulate going to allow him to get away. And instead, they'll have to settle for the bottom tier 2 tower.
I think Arkosh needs to do a better job at wrecking the thing to dodge his Aegis. You know, Pale Horse TP's bottom, and now he's going to draw his whole team bottom to kind of protect him there. And they should probably just be trying to dodge, play the other side of the map. Because as you can see, now the Troll is going to go high ground. Pale Horse has no TP, he's top lane. This is actually a really big deal for the Puck. There's no buyback as well. This could be game losing.
Do they have the recall? Oh, he's been caught out now, though. Maybe this is a bit too far as the 8th Remnant gets him, but perhaps Arkosh assuming that he had his team behind. And it did. The smoke rotation out.
It's really difficult to go on this Troll.
Ross takes the smoke immediately, but they jump back into it.
He might die right away.
He does. His light shader also getting caught out now. The Shark not going to lock anyone in, but they lose the fight.
Super fun that game, and you get Ags after that. Talk about Ags every effing time I'm on panel. You kick Troll away, like that's a way of kiting the hero as well, right? So
the ult can be pretty powerful. I like that one.
Absolutely.
But I think it's on his back and maybe ban out Rubik. I mean, Rubik was absolutely insane. That's gotta be what they get rid of.
Well, we have draft number 2 underway. Once again, the respect coming out for that TA. There must be something to it, like you said, Neff, enough where, like, you know, the Lukey theory, you just don't want to give them something they're comfortable on. And something you may not be comfortable going against, so that's like just a double negative right there. Just take it off the table. That's always a plus. That's a big plus for the Raiders in this match, maybe any match moving forward. That's a free ban that they get to take with them, and now they've picked up a respected powerhouse support that would maybe normally be banned in that position in the Shadow Shaman.
Radiant team.
He's come back strong.
Okay. After being completely untouched last game, I just had to look it over again just to make sure. We've seen this a few times today, right, Dakota? The upper division as well, where like game 1 he is just completely ignored, and then game 2 they just first pick him. It's kind of interesting. Not sure why.
Yeah. It was the lockdown last time. Just whole team having these clashes, but nobody dying. Shadow Shaman will easily fix that problem. He'll either get killed himself overextending or torn apart.
Well, you were just saying it off air, and Sammy Boy was saying it as well. The spirits are kind of like the gods of Dota right now. So what better pickups you want to get early to kind of be prepared for possible spirits to come? Lockdown, root, extra CC available. You know, these supports will be good no matter what, so might as well pick them up early. Those powerhouses do show up later on.
It's another good one against the Spirit Heroes right there. The Puck, he's a super big winner of this patch. OD has made it through here yet again, and neither team has picked it. This is ridiculous. I don't know what these teams are doing.
That means nobody's practiced it, man. It gets banned every time in pubs. Like, how are you going to practice that freaking hero? It's crazy. Normally you see Puck first pick actually get through. The Coddle is normally the best number 2 to team it up with. But they're going to go Earthshaker, so completely opposite. Instead of pushing them out of the coil, they're keeping them in, it seems.
This Shaker is absolutely insane right now. His new Aghanim Shard, you get cooldown reduction on him. Aether Lens and Octarine Core work incredibly well now because you get extra cast range from the Octarine Core plus the cooldown reduction. You just slam enchant totem down every couple of seconds once you have that one. It is so difficult to deal with it. I think back to like, you know, every TI we see Earthshaker picked up on like every TI winning roster or team lineup. So I'm excited for that one. It's super fun to watch Echo Slam's turn games around. And once the hero finds farm, he's super awkward until then.
He's just a crowd favorite hero. Always. Earthshaker, Enigma, Magnus, one of my favorite. You know, I would watch these heroes whenever they're in the meta. Always a big fan. Well, third band's gonna be Monkey King. I think that's a pretty good core band. He's obviously top meta pickup, and you have Earthshaker, team fight, Coil to lock him down with inside the Wukong's command. Synergy in itself, and something they don't want to have to deal with, so just get.
What did you guys think of the Ogre Shard last game? I think that might be the second time I've ever seen it in a competitive game. Essentially, it's just like a little fireball around you that absorbs a little bit of physical damage. I have to look it up right now. I think it's like 3 instances of 50 damage or something like that, which I feel like that game not necessarily good against the heroes, but I suppose it's good for like taking towers. Is that what the line of thought is?
5 seconds.
Yeah, I don't know, because if you're prioritizing it as like some sort of save, you'd think you'd want to invest rather the 1,400 gold into 4-staff or Yules or something else that would provide save and then some, but I don't know if it has.
So it's a 70% incoming damage reduction for the 3 attacks, and then it sends out 125 damage, which I'd have to check. I wonder if that works on towers. Is there any way you think that works?
Pretty
back
sure
on
it does.
Towers?
Oh, you mean the reflect or the damage out on tower?
10 seconds.
Okay, the damage out
tower.
is right. No, the damage out is magical. So yeah,
5
definitely.
seconds remaining.
Pretty cool.
It can be used on buildings. So I knew so little about it that I just pulled it up. It's so on the wiki. It doesn't seem amazing. Maybe once in a while you could grab it, but it's like a very bad version of Frost Shield on Lich or something. You're only blocking it for 3 attacks.
Yeah, maybe it's something you catch your opponent by surprise because you're never going against it, and you're like, "What the hell's that thing?" And then it pops, and suddenly you take all this
you
extra
get killed alt tabbing, looking at the Dota wiki to read what the hell it is.
Like, I can't kill this guy. Why is he taking no damage? And oh, it's this weird shield thing. Right, I guess. It's an early Underlord pickup here. This is a bruiser of a team, a bit of team fight here. Got great wave clear now. It's coming out of your ears at this point between these 3.
Yeah,
I'm a little surprised we don't see more Underlord because just Pit of Malice, it feels like, especially in combination with Coil, like all these melee position 1s or in some cases position 2s that we've been seeing this patch get completely dumpstered by this hero. So I'm a little surprised we don't see more of them.
Dire team pick.
It's hard to pick Underlord until you see what support you're playing against. He's already against Ogre Magi and Shadow Shaman, but like if there's a Witch Doctor, you normally want to play pretty far forward. He's get blown up by the Cask and the Maledict. So at this point, it becomes pretty safe to play. It's not really Gremlo's style. He normally likes split pushing and avoiding the enemies, and you definitely have to stand in front to be the tanky boy on the Underlord. So
looks like the Underlord has been going to the same dentist though as Grem, so perhaps that's kind of a special connection that they have, and he just forced to pick upon whoever do we even know who the captain of Arkosh is? Is Pale Horse the captain?
I think Pale Horse does the drafting. I'm not sure about captain.
Okay.
None of them really speak the same language apparently.
God, I hope it's not Gremlo, because it's hard enough to hear him in the interviews. So if his team has to put up with them in the comms nonstop,
no wonder he's locked up with a voice like that. Jesus. Good lord, good riddance.
All right, they creep in the Oracle, which we don't get to see a lot of. A fantastic defensive support, but also good when you're going against some of these like melee cores, which all they want to do is get in there and start bringing the business. But when your hands are tied by something like Fate's Edict, that one simple spell could just keep you out of a fight altogether. Wow, we're seeing a lot of new faces now.
This draft.
Dire team ban. Radiant team ban.
Goddamn Aghanim Scepter on Troll Warlord made them be able to do anything, but now they've got the Wraith King that can sit in front. You're not worried about tapping the Dream Coil and going down because you get back up afterwards. They can shove towers in with the Death Prophet. This lineup is way more coherent. They could win last game. They can easily win with the lineup they have drafted so far.
10 seconds remaining.
Indeed, and I'm looking at the Arkosh, like, in terms of like this team fight position one, they don't really have anything that combos with it yet, so the question is, what do they want to combo with it? Terrorblade would have been pretty good, but that is banned out. I mean, not just bringing up Troll again, but it is available. Not particularly great this game. You take out
Max there, and you have more Earthshaker. Ricky's there too.
Not to say, what do you think about Ricky? I guess Ricky comboed with the first skill, Oracle, would be pretty cool once you're in Biz. But in terms of like a false prompt hero, not exactly the first hero I think of.
I mean, you can't get touched on it here. A lot of people go cooldown reduction. I've seen Arcane really picked up a number of times on it. You don't need. You get your Battle Fury, you get your Aghanim Scepter, and that's really what you need to just destroy teams. As long as Iron Lord can sit in front, you can hop in his pocket, you can pump out tons of damage. You don't really need to be a frontliner saved. You're just getting either the Hex or the Shackles off of you. I think that's it. And last to band out the Mars, so you're just worried about often you can potentially stop the push.
Yeah, almost certainly an offlane here. I mean, I have heard, I haven't actually seen it myself, but a couple pros are telling me that people are experimenting with position 3 Wraith King. It sounds awful, so I'm just going to assume that they're trolling me. I mean, we've seen Death Prophet off. We've seen Death Prophet support not too long ago, so it could technically be anything, but probably the position 3. They do need some catch, some initiation.
Not sure what that is. I mean, you normally want to run the Death Prophet against a melee hero, so you could run in the position 3 because you're not wanting to. You're not crazy about running Puck. You just throw up the crit form into crit waves and do things that way, but that is something they could flex, but we saw it offlane last time.
Yeah, not a great Pango game. I mean, against Coil, against even the Root from Underlord, pretty annoying. Would not have picked. I mean, I don't know what else is in the pool right now, but this is not an easy Pango game, I don't think.
No, it's confusing to me. I think
Azure as well, pretty annoying.
Maybe there's still some flux there for them, but I'm with you guys. I feel like it's going to be a little difficult here for Mango, especially when they have so much on the side of Arkosh jumped in. But what is there going to be their one now that they're looking to enable? I know Ricky was dropped more, but forget the new flavor of the month, Alchemist.
Okay.
So yeah, I like this pick a lot.
Flavor of the month. Widening that lead. 10K.
We've been seeing Alchemist pop up a couple of times, at least this week and last week. Tomato played it for Undying. I know. Who else popped it up? Gunner played it. Not too sure, but we've definitely seen it a couple of times now.
This is such a trash Pango game, and even Oracle, like literally every hero is good against Pango. Or yeah, Pango right now.
Your punches.
I like one. Yeah, this is such a bad Pango game. Anyway, I like Arkosh Gaming's lineup a lot, but I have to stay true to my predictions, which will never change. I will always pick Arkosh to lose, so Byzantine will take this 2-0 somehow. Pango will just play position 5 or something.
For me, I gotta say, if they could win last game with their lineup, Arkosh is doing something wrong. Byzantine Raiders, they've got this one. Somewhat agree with the Zinfan saying it's not really a Pango game, but the Alchemist doesn't strike me as particularly strong, and they do have ways to bring him down. You're going to have to pop off on the Wraith Key to do it, though. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to bring down Alchemist. You need burst damage to that hero, and they don't have it without Wraith King. They need him to do well.
Alright, we'll see if we can get the win here from Raiders to close the series, or if Arkosh are going to take it to a game 3. We throw to a break. When we return, though, MLP, John X Fire, and Sammy Boy are on the mic.
See if only one stone left to use.
Is under attack.
Hey, spotted for a second. Trying to CB, but you've got the roll there from Z-Freak. Thing is, it doesn't really have much help. Empyrean is finally going to come in. Boulder Smash and Sans is there into the Aeon Disc being propped. He's still trying to run away.
It's going to be a bit nasty to fight into you.
I don't know about that one.
So you're seeing the effect of the high ground here in your voice, and they're not too far away from that here for speed.
I think we've lost John. I believe he's back. John, are you back?
Okay. Yes. And
Alchemist is the I'm trying to remember who said it. Someone had secret ink for like heroes were getting played, but
Is he gonna go down? It looks like he will. He is dead without buyback. On to Mio. The Void Spirit also gone. And this game is not gonna be over as Boris just slicing and dicing them up. They'll buy back. There'll be one last team fight.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for game number 2 between Arkosh Gaming and the Byzantine Raiders. It is, of course, MLP Dota, John X Fire, and Sammy Boy. And we are back with 2 new drafts, and just judging by what you guys were saying just before the break, you're not really a big fan of the Byzantine Raiders draft, from what I can tell.
The media hammer
it's a Pango pick, right, Sammy? Like the Pango last pick, Suns fan was raging about it, or not raging, but kind of ranting about it. It just doesn't look good here.
No, it doesn't. It's not a great laner. They have Puck, Underlord, Earthshaker. I mean, everything. Yeah, like they said on the panel, every hero on the team is already good versus Pangolier, and then they last pick Alchemist, who's also good versus Pangolier. So it's, you know, Pangolier into 5 heroes that you probably don't really want to play against to begin with. We do see a level 1 smoke. Not for busy
gonna move his way in. Does
interesting. So they just kind of want to run down. I think one thing as well that we forgot to mention here, when you got the Alk against Ridley, the 2 Lysons of the Skeleton procs Regal's Greed, so there's a lot of value in clearing out those summons now from Murderer if you're not careful.
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever I'm playing Alchemist, you see Wraith King TP to the lane, the Wraith King dropped his skeletons and collect 500 gold generally.
Back off, but
delicious.
Fan of the Arkosh play, just drafting these cheap heroes like the Alchemist. That, you know, I find this Alchemist pick very unfair. I think it's a disgusting hero. I could have guessed that Arkosh would have done this.
Just so much damage.
They do spot out though. Oh, they denied him.
Yeah, they know. They know. Just taking away. Saves them the effort of flying out the center. Forgot just being safe. But level 1 smoke doesn't lead to much. Now, seeing that Byzantine Raiders wants to play, you know, they were looking for first blood, they're kind of rushing around. Who has to go faster here? Is it down to that Wraith King this Nephthys? Like the bursts got to come out and that early start has to get going?
I think it's up to the DP. If his DP is able to use his ults effectively to probably take the top tier 1 and the mid tier 1 before maybe 10-12 minutes, I think the game will be pretty easy for Byzantine to play. But if this Death Prophet doesn't have a good start, it's going to be really difficult for them to play Dota. It's very hard for their heroes to invade the Alchemist, especially with the tier 1s out.
Well, it's the DP versus Puck, not something you see too often nowadays. Not a matchup that's, well, too common at all. And, well, A and B has to get off to that running start. What is the Puck matchup against this one? Like, surely both sides just go back to that farming that we saw from game 1?
Yeah, it's a very 50-50 matchup. DP has got some laning buffs recently, but Puck has also got buffs as well, so it's like, I would say very 50-50, maybe slightly DP favored 55-45, something like that, so generally just a skill matchup. The courier snipe coming out from Crow in the bot lane.
Very nice indeed. A nice little pull here from Crow as well. Light Shader doesn't have a large camp to be able to pull the creep wave into, so Crow does just block it again at the 1 minute mark, so very nice from Crow. Looks like he is going to just reset the lane equilibrium towards the side of Arkosh, which we did see in the first game. Of course, Remlo should be slowly making his way back up, unless they just give the solo XP over to Crow, but I do believe it is going to go to the Underlord.
He gets the ensnare.
Most likely.
Tanky lane as well. Right, like you've got Critic is fairly tanky, Remlo's tanky as well. Light Shader can stand in front like that, but you don't really want to tempt fate as the levels go up here.
Yeah, it's another one of those lanes where everyone is just super tanky, super hard to kill. Probably not going to see too much action down here. Maybe if Crow oversteps or something like that, but it should just be a farming lane for both sides.
In terms of the top lane, like if you look at Pale Horse right now, it's sitting at 5-0 on the Alchemist, and with going around, I can't really see them killing him or really slowing him down too much on the Alk. Is there some particular rotation we're expecting him to kill the Alchemist off, or is Pale Horse just going to have the freest game of his life?
I think Pale Horse is going to have a pretty free game, at least until this mid-tower dive. Like I said, I'd like to see both the subs on the side of Byzantine Raiders gravitate towards that mid lane. So as soon as Murderer is able to either solo go jungle, or Cube on the other side of things can kind of play alone up there, I want to see the Shaman and the Ogre probably take some sort of coordinated smoke to mid, maybe play with his DPX so it's 6, the mid tower, and then from there you can kind of start snowballing into letting the supports and Death Prophet kind of invade, pressure the Alpha.
Well, Arkosh has been doing a good job so far zoning out their support. So Frugaz has been beating through salves and tangos like no one's business. Goat has just been able to trade fairly well. And speaking of regen, Goat still has 2 salves, still has a tango, even Cube is down to just his tangos as well. So when it comes down to that resource war early on in the lanes, it's not shaping up too well here for Byzantine Raiders either. They're just not really able to trade in any meaningful way in the early economy.
Yep. I think this is just a result of, I mean, not to blame more on the Pango pick, but definitely a very weak lane. It's difficult for them to trade, difficult for them to take positive trades at least. See down bottom, they maybe go on Grendel. They missed the fissure on the Murderer.
They did. Fire Blast gonna be there. Murderer has a lot of damage, and Gremlo is set to die, and he will. Murderer, the one to take the first blood. And of course, if you are the position 1 raid key, you are very, very happy with that bonus goal.
Definitely. Exactly, we didn't expect any kills to come out as well. Very tanky lane, 1 misstep though, easy to punish, and that actually opens up some movement out for Arkosh. They're keeping an eye on those mid runes. Both supports need to be way down, only Frugaz to contest so far up top.
Yep. I think they didn't give enough respect to the creep wave bottom. He's obviously using Firestorm to try to clear the creep wave, but
He's gone. No way out of that one.
Salve.
Well, he's got another one
for that. It's a nice chunk of gold for the Oracle still. You know, like, he looked pretty dead uphill. I mean, that was optimistic of the Salve assault.
Yeah, it definitely was. He's got so many, he doesn't need them.
I suppose so. Still 2-0 so far for Byzantine Raiders here. I mean, it's a good start. Like, the supports are finally getting that work in. Pale Horse is still finding some decent farm. Once our DP hits 6, you reckon this is straight up Exorcism pickup? Unlike the other games we see going into those laning skills first, saving Exo level 7
on the bottom. Lightshader might be in some trouble here.
Was overextending a little bit. Looks like he is going to be just fine to back out of there. Murderer just went straight back to farming.
I'll expect the DP EXO at 6. I think it's too important for them to play a high tempo this game. Maybe he will decide to delay it, but if it was me, I'd probably skill EXO and hopefully try to make something happen.
And, well, you've got an Alchemist, you get 3 bounty runes as well. You're going to be a very happy team here for Arkosh. You do have a Hex up now.
Murderer is in trouble, just locked down.
Very nice kill there by Crow and Gremlo. The Fisher blocking the palming there for Murderer. Mid lane, looks like they are going to try and maybe make a little bit of a play onto Canis Vulpus. The rotation in from Frugaz was just a tad late, but he's still trying to loop around. Might be able to get that level 2 shackles off, but he has been spotted by the creep wave. Canis doesn't have an orb. The wave now, and Exorcism going to be popped straight off the bat. Yeah, Frugaz, I'm not sure about this. He was still sticking around. He does get locked up. He's gone. Pro to pick up the kill, and Exorcism just isn't going to lead to anything.
Yeah, I like the idea in Byzantine Raiders, but just not enough heroes, right? If this Ogre was also connecting on the mid lane at the same time, I think this could be a different story, where they could man up on the creep wave, the Ogre could tank, and they could actually apply real pressure to this tower. But, you know, the idea was there, just not the right amount of heroes, unfortunately.
And with that movement out from Frugaz, of course, they've given Pale Horse the space up top. He's still finding farm. The Alchemist really not contested at all, and he's got his own level 6 up. So that steady farm build-up is going to be there for the Elf. What build-up do you expect? Like, are you seeing a Radiance Rush? Is it going to be a Battle Fury for Pale Horse? What's preferable?
I think the Battle Fury is probably the best this game. The Radiance is not too great in this type of game because there's not really any AoE stuff he really wants to clear that Battle Fury weren't already clear, such as the skeletons, right? And to be honest with you, I think they want to try to play the fights kind of short. They don't really want to fight into a 40-second EXO. They want to be able to apply burst damage and then ideally disengage, run away, kite back, stuff like that. So I really like to see probably a Battle Fury into something like S-Fly, and then go from there and the burst damage if you want Abyssal, or whatever else you want, AC most likely.
It looks like Pale Horse is making his way towards that build-up, as you mentioned. Byzantine Raiders to 2 now. First EXO not working out too well. Murderer has his own level 6. Still playing tag with Gremlo. We're not seeing the cores swap out lanes beyond our Alp going into the jungle. So actually not as much pressure on the towers as you'd expect. You reckon the Byzantine would really want to find these early pickups, though?
it's kind of waiting for the X. So they need Exorcism to apply rear pressure.
Guys, he's going to be all right. Canis Vulpus does come in with a great dream call, and they get QB.
But they're going to have to do this without their position 1.
They are grouping up, but I don't know about this. You just lost Gimpang clear, and Gremlo should be able to just defend on his own.
Yeah, good TP in from Gremlo, good recognition of what's happening. So, like that stuff in him.
It's kind of painful here for Byzantine that Frugos is stuck at level 3. Right, he wants with the Exorcism for this push, but they're not able to get that EXP going. Frugos has just been way too active on the map. They are committing for his mid though.
They are. Bishop going to block out the DP.
That's another
the Exorcism is going to be held on to for now, but the rotation from Lightshader and Frugos
behind the tower, looking for Crow.
He is trying, but now he's going to be surrounded again. Crow doesn't have a fish to lock him in though, so he's going to be alright for now. An alien man of bananas to rush in. Exorcism is there as well, and they do burst down Goat into Crow now. They want the Earthshaker dead. They'll find another. 2 kills going to the way of the DP as QB is going to keep moving forward after Canis Vulpus. And he does have an orb available. He needs to get away. Still the Sans now coming out. He may have held off too long. He is going to try an orb now. Lightshader actually going to die midway. Canis Vulpus playing with fire, but it might just pay off. He is going to walk away from the swashbuckle of QB.
Actually going to be able to walk away.
Oh, man. You'd still call that a successful defense for Arkosh, right? Another Exorcism with no push? Just not the best for Byzantine right now.
Murderer, oh, nice deny by Crow in the bottom lane. Murderer is able to take up, or take down this bottom tier 1, so not, you didn't get nothing out of it, but definitely not what you would hope for. I think these mid plays need to just be a little more coordinated, a little more preparation into them, and they could succeed. Like I said, I really like the idea, I like the tempo they're going for, but the execution is just leaving something to be desired. Frugos is now taking the top lane, which is good. This guy is going to be trying to work on his level 6, and probably ideally look to take this top tier 1 with level 6 Shaman moves.
Going to be a big spike for Frugos once that's up. Of course, that lack of pressure up top has enabled Pale Horse to get his 2 swords, just lacking the perseverance into that battle fury for the Elf, so he's going to hit his farming stride soon. Murderer is going for the Radiant stride, right? Like, he just wants to have that presence with the Skulats a little top.
They have gone onto the Shaman. Canis Vulpus trying to get it done by himself. Goat's going to rotate in. He might actually cap Frogos off guard, but no. Canis, want to throw it right here. My turn. He is just going to sit back and relax for now, but he is starting to move his way back up. Canis still pretty healthy, but if they can get the shackles on, they'll go for the Hex first. And they do get the shackles, but they lock in QB for a second. Canis, he will face shift, but still gets hit by the stun, and is going to die into the
now. Go down some QB.
It definitely was QB in massive trouble, or rather, Goat is QB
down as well too.
Yeah, Gremlo gonna run away, but he's in trouble.
Banana decides to die this. It looks like he might. Oh, it's not going to attack
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They should still get the T1 tower out of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Still running for a bit, that Exo, but they did pop the Exo with Arcane, so the cooldown's not going to be that long for Alien Man Banana compared to the other fights, although, boost it up.
Sure. Nice Fisher there, Pit and Malice locking him in once again with the Fortune's End. Alien still trying to run, but no, Crow is there. Slam to make sure he gets put away. Gremlo the one to pick up the kill, and they might go for a bit of a counter push up at the top lane now.
Does look like it.
Radiant's top
And
tower.
they're buying out space as well for Pale Horse, right? They're all playing up top. Pale Horse can just farm in the jungle, the Radiant jungle under a ward, and there's no punishment. This is not great for Byzantine Raiders. Frugos now at level 7. He's going to try to annoy him, but Rage up, there's just no stopping the Alchemist. This is trouble for Byzantine Raiders. They're 6-5, 2k lead for Arkosh.
They've got the Unlord in the horns, and that means that Gremlo is going to die, and that should mean the mid T1 tower is finally going to go the way of Byzantine Raiders.
I think this game actually looks really easy for Byzantine Raiders. I know it's a 1k lead for Arkosh, but they're playing with an Alchemist, right? And this Alchemist is about 2k net worth above the Wraith game, which to me is not enough. I think Arkosh haven't done a good job of pressuring the Wraith King, and they've kind of spent all their time trying to respond to Byzantine moves. And obviously Byzantine moves haven't been the cleanest, they haven't been the most coordinated, but so far it's been looking like Byzantine is on the game. They're the ones who are playing their own tempo, whereas Arkosh kind of feel like they're always responding. They're always kind of panicking and trying to deal with what the other team is doing.
Yeah, and on top of that, Byzantine Raiders, right? We talk about the cooldowns on these belts, on the DPC, on the Shadow Shaman. Alien Man of Banana, even though those early exorcisms weren't so successful, he's always been throwing his body out when he has it up. They're looking up top now. Exorcism is up. They did lose their bot tier 1, but they want that top tier 1 in exchange.
Gonna go in with the swashbuckle. They do rid him in place. Scream Curl there as well. Meanwhile, Frugos in the backline trying to get down the Oracle. Time for now, go no. He falls too low, and Alien Man of Banana take him out. And that seems to be the game plan every time. It's just burst down the Oracle ASAP, and the rest of the team fight is just kind of easy for them. They found Canis as well. Still have to roll a lot of space. Canis, he's going to be alright. He gets away, and like you said, he does make a fight into the space, but you look at that T1, it's gone.
Yeah, so this is good by Byzantine. It's 14 minutes, got all 3 of the tier 1s down. Definitely a great start versus Alchemist. So now we're looking at this Raid King's Radiance to come out. It's about 100 gold off, so pretty solid timed Radiance, and it'll be interesting to see how they can use this Radiance. It'll also coincide with Raid King's level 12, so it's going to be a massive power spike for Byzantine Raiders. If they can use this power spike in the mid lane, Grendel.
They are going Rolling Thunder with an Arcane Root. It will be nice for Q-Bane. He's going to get started. A great Hex out from Frugos on the Goat, but he doesn't get the shackles off. Goat is going to be just fine, but he can't get the false promise off. Frugos, he is definitely, he's going to try and fight this one out. A big echo out. Crow is trying to turn this one around. Is it going to be enough though? Murderer still not dying. Light Shader does go down, and now Murderer, he might lose his first life. Looks like he won't. He'll survive. Hail Horse showing up to the fight does end up paying off for them.
Radiance came right at the end of that fight, so just a little too early from Byzantine Raiders and taking an engagement.
They were trying to camp out the ruin, but there was a smoke out from Arkosh at the back. This is also our Alchemist's S and Y timing. So Pale Horse is looking to apply pressure with that build-up, while also just clearing out the camp. That early Radiance timing for Murderer though, like that is going to be a big issue early on if we maximize thermal control coming in here.
Pulled out maybe. Canis, Bishop does land, and Light Shader is going to be a nice easy kill. I say easy, he is actually pretty tough tanky, but does eventually go down.
At this point in the game is not much. It's not even a full item.
Alchemist is working on that AC, so I like that. Probably the best item available, especially against the amount of physical damage on Byzantine Raiders from Death Prophet, Raid King, even Shadow Shaman Wards, Pangolier, all physical damage. So good pickup from him.
Gonna keep them a lot tankier in the front and soften up some of those tanky targets. So a lot of value there. You're also seeing Pale Horse doing that thing we talked about. Go where the skeletons are, get 500 gold from 2 lives. Just a lot of value here for Pale Horse, and not quite being punished.
Yeah, Pale Horse might be in some trouble if he goes another way, but he smartly TP's out, reads the game. Good stuff from him.
Nice indeed. Murderer, he's just going to start pushing in the top tier 2. Probably just won't go all the way, but they'll occupy the dive jungle.
He wants to go take the tower. His team's pinging it, also making the rotation up. They have control of the map. DP has control of mid lane right now. Probably going to try to look to move up. They dropped the Shadow Shaman wards too. Looks like they are committed.
Clip is going to be forced, but those skeletons are going to come back up, and they even clip on the side of Byzantine Raiders now. Those wards, it is not going to be too hard of a task. Lane is also being forced by Arkosh, but they're not really going towards the tower. They're more focusing in on that mid-tier 1 tower. So it is going to be a tower trade, but I see that it is going to be there. Come in. They do successfully defend this.
Yep, absolutely. Great trade for Byzantine Raiders. Take the tier 2 top for free, able to still defend their mid tower. Arkosh is looking like they're trying to play off their wards in the mid lane. A lot of their vision is sitting here, and I think they see that smoke. Yeah, they're pinging it.
That probably won't work out unless Canis falls.
Canis Wayquist, does he know?
Oh, he just
knows about this, right?
Cutting him off, Murderer. He's towards the north, another orb. They know exactly where he's going, and he's on the tree line either. He's caught out, and he has no way out.
I don't know if this is going to fight. I think it's a bot.
He didn't stop Echo going to be committed. They're committing all the way. Cubane's going to die. They get one life on the reincarnation, but now Alien Man of Banana pops the exorcism. Still, they are dropping the Wraith King very, very low. They do actually get the kill as a nice tip comes out from Canis Holmes. The trash talk hands the gun into the next one. Light Shader, he goes down as well. Pale Horse with a double kill, and it didn't look like a great Dark Crypt, but it ends up working out for the media.
Kind of grouped right on top of where the Dark Crypt was coming from, and then Crow just immediately pressed Echo Slam, and they got a really big fight off that. So it's a hard situation because Byzantine was all trapped in the trees chasing his puck, and then all of a sudden, I don't even think they knew it was happening. I thought if they had seen it earlier, they could have split up their heroes and maybe been able to get a nice BP silence, and maybe if Death Crowd was a little bit closer to get the silence off, it could have been bad. But great stuff from Arkosh, heads up play for sure, and I thought it was going to work.
Long way off though. They're just playing around these item timings really well. Pale Horse, that was his AC freshly flying out. Crow didn't even need to use his blink. They find that unit tier 1 now. And a 9k lead for Arkosh off the back of that fight. If you're Byzantine Raiders, right, you took that top tier 2 early, the map's kind of evened out now. Are you still happy in your position here?
Yeah, I think the game is still very close to even. Most of its net worth is just on the Alchemist, right? And it's just going to come down to, can Byzantine take down the Alchemist? Probably starts with the Oracle, but after that, taking down the Alp. I mean, I would favor Arkosh at this point in the game. I think if they use their timings effectively to take an early Roche, the game could get pretty difficult for Byzantine, but definitely still winnable from both sides based on some good execution.
See if that Sculptor Roche will come out anytime soon. It is up. Neither side really has vision around the pit, and neither side making their way around there quite yet. Looking at Murderer now, he's saving up for a BKB. Should help with control, and the rope is starting to
looks like he wants to just walk it and start it. It's an interesting one because he's 1,000 gold off BKB. I would prefer to wait for BKB here. Interesting choice to force the approach without BKB.
Now gonna back. It definitely was a very risky decision as Murderer around the pit, and now they do start to make their way over Byzantine Raiders. Not really catching anyone out quite yet. Like everyone from Arkosh will be able to just lead. However, top lane, Pale Horse, he went back to farm. Frugos gonna get the Hex on, has the wall, has the shackles. Not great news for Arkosh as Pale Horse, he'll be looking pale after this one. It looks like he is just set to fall. He can't get the Chemical Rage. In fact, he doesn't even have it. Meanwhile, towards the south,
as well.
They got go.
They're gonna immediately go to Roche. That's a huge misplay from Pale Horse. I'm not exactly sure what he was doing there. He was all alone. His team was backing off to go to Tri-Camp as well, so just kind of a out of position play, unfortunately. And now, you know, all of a sudden, things are on the other foot, even though they're up 8k. Roche on ball, Byzantine Raiders, and it looks like they may have control of this game.
They do.
That's a scary proposition for Arkosh, but they still have this good lead that they have banked on that Alec, as you mentioned, and 2 lives now for Alien Man Banana, 2 lives in the Wraith King, of course. They've got the blink up on Murder, so you can just jump in. The BKB still being waited out, and the BKB of Pale Horse kind of stalled out because of his death. Should still be up by the time he respawned after clearing out a wave or a couple of camps, but Byzantine Raiders now have the options, right? Like they still have wards if it comes out in the next fight. They've got Exorcism a minute 10 off. What's the game plan now? Just look for these tier 2s first, or maybe look for a pickoff first?
I think they're probably just going to be using this Aegis to farm. It's a little difficult for them to force towers into all the waves there on the side of Arkosh, right? They have Acid Spray, they have Puck, they have Underlord spells, as well as obviously Earthshaker, which can turn any siege into a disaster if things go the right way. So probably looking to use this Aegis just to farm the map, to try to take a gold advantage, which you can see here, right? Slowly building up a gold lead, or building up from the deficit. They have really good wards set up in the dire jungle, so maybe look to play to these wards, and they're pinging it already. And make sure that they take the outpost top, try to control both outposts, and use that to take map advantage.
Light Shade is going for that chance again. It's a good item. I mean, I don't know about this. It's a lot of reduction on the shield. I believe it's 70%. But is it a good item?
I mean, I'm not so sure. I feel like maybe he knows something I don't. I'm obviously not a Vibe type. I'll have to Husky for this one. I've heard it's not so good. Normally, you generally see it picked up later in the game after maybe a forced half-ward winner. Same thing, I think this game, I don't mind the shield, but I think 4-staff or Blender would definitely be higher value. It's in a mid lane.
Frugos.
Oh,
alright, he gets the wall down.
Overstepped here. I'm not...
He's got to be very wary of that.
Meanwhile, on the top lane, Trevor is going on Pale Horse.
He is. Gremlin going to go for the Dark Room. Pale Horse. Oh, he is. A big tip there for Gremlin.
It's committed by Alien Mana Banana though, so it looks like they're going to try to use that Exo to seize the 2-2. They had an Arcane Rune on the Exo as well, so good stuff from them. Oh, Alien Mana Banana with that Blink Dagger all the way in on the Oracle.
Yeah, Goat's having a very rough time this game, and he dies once again. He gets Frugos as well, but he needs to back off now as the Spirit Vessel is going to be there, and he does pop the BKB, yes. He's going to hold out. He's going to be just fine. Looks like the side of Byzantine Raiders, they also back off. They're not willing to overextend without the Exorcism up. Overall, I guess it still ends up being a great trade for them, as they did find Kane as Vulpus plus Goat at the end. Still ends up working out quite nicely.
Yep. Byzantine Raiders are probably not going to be able to find a way to use this Aegis, but they have a BKB coming up on Raid King, probably going to be looking towards that as their next big time.
Yeah, and there is a smoke here from Arkosh though. It looks like they want to play here.
They're going to jump in onto the Ogre and Blind Shader. Get down very quick and they keep going. The Pale Horse, he's running behind.
Obviously not happy with just the Ogre. Very aggressive blinking.
Pop the chemical range. Pale Horse won't use the blink. Leave it. Looks like they are just going to have to settle for the Ogre. But on the brighter side, they do take map control by taking that kill and just forcing the lane. So I guess they're still relatively okay with it.
Under attack.
Yep, obviously not an awful move. They're looking to invade the track camp, but the Alchemist isn't there. Alchemist is showing bot wave. Goat can't be up this far.
Oh, Goat. He's gone. No way of surviving that one. They get the outpost at the 24-minute mark, but that won't matter. There's still another 5 minutes to go. Yeah,
Lock from Arkosh, where I think Goat has one idea and Pale Horse has a different idea, and it ends up with Goat randomly just being super out of position. Meanwhile, Pale Horse is on the other side of the map farming. It happens in a lot of their games, so Pale Horse too. Very alone.
He is definitely alone. Cubate's in trouble. He needs to make a run. Echo being committed by Crow, but it's not going to work out. And now Alien Mana Banana in with the Yules. They wanted the Earthshaker first. The Rolling Thunder is not really going to connect on anybody, but Crow might just die anyway. He does indeed go down as Cubate is still just rolling around the low ground. I mean, it was a very strange engagement there. As look at this, a blink in right away from Alien Mana Banana. He's going still on to Goat, and Goat some his the DP does not like it, and he's forced to follow promise. My goodness.
Go for it. Done.
Oh, this in. He's one on Cubate, but he gets Yules up immediately. I'm not so sure if this is the...
Doesn't look great. He might just get Light Shaper. Kill one. Alien Mana Banana still stuck.
He's committing further. He has a... He might stun himself here.
Oh, there's the Alien Mana. He wants to go for it, and they do get the Alchemist now. Shackles is out onto the Unlord, so there's no taxi back home yet. The Yules is there as well. Pale Horse still trying to run. His Chemical Rage is going to wear out relatively soon, but it looks like Crow is going to be able to save the day as they keep going for Frugos. Is maybe going to get caught here. Shackles is out.
They're fighting this.
They are. Dark Rift has been cancelled. Cubate, he does get a Rolling Thunder, and he's just stuck there for a second. What's the shot after all? The Raid King does also die. Cubate gonna just try and back off as now Murderer pops his own BKB and wants to keep fighting. No. He'll TP away. Cubate will also TP away. And ultimately it was just supports that ended up dying.
Yep. Both cores seem very hard to kill. Obviously, Wraith King, Alchemist, difficult to bring down, so the fights are getting very long and drawn out and stuff
under attack
because of that.
Yeah, that sure built on top. Like, of course, was really early by fighting it without the Chemical Rage and fighting without the BKB. but he is, you know, level 20 now. He is fairly tanky. What can Byzantine Raiders do to kind of prevent that? Do they just catch him while Rage is down? Not always going to happen, right?
Yeah, I think it's about trying to either start on the Alchemist and the Oracle at similar times, or looking to just kite out the Chemical Rage, right? Use the Exo and the move speed that comes along with that, use the mobility of the Pangler, use the Wraith King to frontline in the fight, and just try to kite out the Alchemist's strength, because once Chemical Rage is down, the fights will get pretty easy for them, and Exo also lasts longer than Chemical Rage, I believe, so, you know, they'll still have a little bit of Exo time, even when the Chemical Rage is down.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Both teams,
something to watch out for. Like, so far they've been able to hunt that Oracle fairly well anyway. As you mentioned, Goat sometimes has that different idea, and it's got to be a bit more cautious for that positioning. Both sides just kind of going for the jungle, top jungle being re-invaded here by Byzantine Raiders. No agent to play with now. The Ag is slowly being formed up to AM. And you can see Arkosh taking that smoke play again.
Yep.
Towards Light Shader. Maybe not. Smoke's going to hang around mid.
The smoke is kind of obvious. They're getting pressured top lane, so they're gonna go with that. You know, Byzantine Raiders smartly, they're pinging top lane. They know something's up, and smoke is probably not gonna be able to connect because of that.
Very unfortunate. Blink Dagger now available on the Shaman as well from Frugos, and like you mentioned, John, the quick Roshan is gonna be there. They might not be expecting this blink on the Shaman. They may get, especially the puck being played by Canis Vulpus.
We'll see, there's going to be an engagement. Looks like both teams are about to walk into each other. Tailhorse is trapping, going to try to go on the Pangler, I imagine. Pangler,
high ground. He is fine. Tailhorse, BKB up, he's going to wear off relatively soon as QB now. Rolling Thunder, no, Crow jumps in. There's your Echo. It wasn't massive though. Everyone is still alive. Looks like Crow is going to die the Dark Rift. He's going to get the rest out. They do at least get a reincarnation live. They may have just lost the Roshan as they Dark Rifted all the way to the
checking it. They need to check the road. Late Traders like, oh guys, get the hell in there.
And yeah, they go in. At least they've got some exorcism up, and it should be a relatively easy one. Aegis Cheese now, so potentially 3 lives in Wraith King, or at least a pseudo turd life for the Cheese. And Arkosh are trying
to the Alchemist. They're gonna finish Roche. They might decide to go here. Alien Man pops his BKB.
And they're starting. He's not going to have it for the fight if they do engage. QB going to go for the Rolling Thunder straight onto Goat once again. They want the Oracle dead. He's been silenced up, and it looks like he is just guaranteed to die here, or maybe not. He's still alive, but everyone else is going down. Frugos, he does go down as well. The Shaman back onto the Alchemist. Tailhorse in trouble, but a nice fisher out from Crow. The problem is, though, he doesn't have the Echo Slam, so he can't really follow up. Canis Vulpus, he's going to have to do the job. A nice unstable concoction. Might at least get one, and they do kill off the Pango, but now Murderer is back in, but Alien Man and Banana is going to lose the Aegis. They reinitiate here. It looked like they won't even have a chance.
Popping his BKB so early like that and then still choosing to fight was definitely very questionable. If he had BKB there and he walked in and had actually been able to frontline and get his skulls off, I think that fight could have gone well, but his BKB Murderer pocket.
Yeah, he's been fished up. He does not have a secondary life here. He needs to try himself time. 8 minutes. BKB off down as well. Murder 5 seconds left to reincarnate.
3 seconds on ulti and he goes down.
He's not going to get it. Now Light Shader, who tried to help out, he's not going to be dived too far in, or maybe he will. The Fisher is there from Crow into the Pit of Malice, but they aren't going to dive. They'll go for the mid-tier 2 tower.
Tower is under attack.
Oh man, the Ag Shard on our Shaker, the Ag Shard on Crow is just doing so much work. The added Aftershock on the Fisher is just so hard for Byzantine Raiders to break out of that pit. And the control's really starting to hurt them when their BKBs are down. They might not be able to fully clean up this objective, but they have done enough damage on the map that you are a bit uncomfy now on the side of Byzantine Raiders.
Absolutely. This Agonins on the puck was given by Palehorse. It was a really big deal. They roll in. Palehorse is not going to get his BKB up, maybe. Doesn't get over.
False promise.
They're trying to get him out of there.
Echo being committed, Crow, Dark Rift, everyone out. Apart from Code of Canis Vulpus, Goat, he'll tank the gank for the team. It's gone. This as well, he has TP'd out in time. No cancellation there. Go. He was still alive, but not long. Still, I suppose that was a successful defense of the high ground in the end. Somewhat. It just didn't look very pretty.
Oh!
Oh,
Pale has BKB here. I'm not like Shader's just in.
Goes down. Pale Horse didn't need the BKB in the end. He's just fine.
Yeah. Didn't have enough heroes there. It was just the supports and the Pangolier. One support.
Yeah, just a scuffle over that double damage rune in the end. I mean, Cube got it in the end, but probably not worthwhile losing a hero over, but you deny it off the Alk, I guess. And speaking of that Alk, Abyssal up in Pale Horse. So he's pretty much set. Like, he's got mobility, he's got stun. If you're Byzantine now, right, you're 10k behind, which is not massive considering the Alk is there and he's absorbing most of that. But you kind of stalled out in taking these tier 2s. You haven't made progress in tier 3. What do you aim for now if you're Byzantine?
Definitely looking at this DPC on Murderer. Again, it's all about fight execution. Both of the games have been very close play-wise. Look at the scores in both games, 21-20, I think it was 23-22 or something last game. Have been very even games. So when the games are this even, it really does come down to the fundamentals, such as playing fights in good vision, being able to find key targets, not starting on targets that are, you know, probably not ideal, right? So for both teams, I'm just looking for playing around their vision, finding good targets, and from there it's just about playing the fights. It's such a close game that it's hard to say if one side's even like, you know, I think the execution is very similar from both sides. Smoke here, you find the Pangolier at the start as well.
They have, but he got the mini rolling thunder up in time. In fact, he's going to go for the big one, or maybe not. He's been stunned up. He needs to survive. But Cube is going to die. Onto the Ogre now. It is looking rough as Crow commits the Echo Slam. The DP now with the BKB, and Cheese is going to be able to walk up to the high ground. And Arkosh, they're going to be happy with that. 3 heroes down, 1 buyback committed. They may be able to force a high ground attempt.
It's great start. Whenever they can start on Pangolier and prevent him from getting the Rolling Thunder off. He obviously had the shard, so he's able to save himself for a couple seconds. Getting this roll off is really important for Byzantine's Raider ability to fight.
Still going to try. Hidden Malice going to lock down the Wraith King, but he does have Reincarnate. Arkosh not backing off. They've got Chemical Rage back up. Now Pale Horse. Silence is going to feed there, but can they really hold? There's just so much heal coming in. Now the Pit of Malice again. That first life might just be gone. It is. Pale Horse, he wants to go for the secondary. The blade straight off the bat. The Raging is in massive trouble, and he is dead. Murderer does go down. Crow moving in for more. Heinous Focus not too afraid. They will just buy time.
Murderer.
There is not. They're just buying time for Pale Horse to get those racks. They only get 1 range racks. Now Cube is going to jump in. Gremlo being caught out on the Unlord. They need the taxi home. They may not get it though. Gremlo, in fact, he is still alive. Alien and Banana though going in for more, but the false promise is going to be there. Now the Dark Grip gets started, and they should be able to get out, or no, maybe not. He does cancel it off, and in the end, they're going to go back in onto the Shaman and Frugos. He's going to be targeted, and he will die.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
Up. One more. They don't protect the shots from the Crow.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Way too good with these fishes. That'll be a secondary rack now for Arkosh.
Crow has had a really big game. Great fissures, great echoes all game. Has really made the team fight for Arkosh.
They can't quite creeps just yet. Q2 still standing up top. But they've got a massive lead now. 24k up for Arkosh. Byzantine Raiders just off the back of one bad fight just falls apart. Now their tier 4s are going to be under threat.
Yeah, they're committing. Yeah, Chemical Rage is back up in 10, so they probably feel very confident, and they also have that Swift Link on Pale Horse to really speed him up a little bit. Murderer, oh, nice Fisher again, he's been blocked in, but Crow, they're not going to commit. They want the objectives, they want the tier 4 towers. Canis Volpus gets the first one, it's now Pale Horse going back in after Murderer, just murdering the skeleton, but Murderer's going to try and turn back around, but Peter Malice is going to lock him in and he'll lose his first life. Dubay now with the Rolling Thunder still moving through, but I think they're feeling confident as Frugos. He does fine and on murder. Another way for the Malice, another shot. They got the kill under the rating, and this game is looking very, very over. They're going ancient, they're trying to buy more time, but how do you defend at your position 1? I believe you don't. They're going to try though. The Hex is going to be there on the Artemis. Pale Horse being shackled up. Gremlo, the Pit of Malice again. The Rolling Thunder out from the Echo again. Going to fly it onto Light Shader, off the QB. They get the kill. Now the Ancient should be trying to...
Alien Mana Banana is in, but
he's trying.
I don't think it's going to be enough.
With that, the trash talk continues from Cadus Horbus as they get more and they kill him off.
Oh god.
And, I'm not sure what Crow means there, but Alien doesn't either.
Oh man, what a performance from Arkosh. It looked rocky at first. Byzantine Raiders were finding those objectives, they were hitting their timings, they were running down those lanes as you'd expect.
5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban.
Continue to lose, anything can happen. So can't slack it up.
10 seconds remaining.
They got to win all the way through and hope that the
5
cut
seconds
and
remaining.
simply 2 base can take some losses along the way. They're not
Dire
out of the
team
mix,
back.
but they'll be more out of the mix if they take a loss here. Well, Raiders, as you
Radiant
mentioned, are just trying to
team
find a way to rise up. But here we go, gentlemen. Game number 3 draft is underway. Familiar band's already coming out. The TA's got to go yet again. Nyx, Puck's now going to be not available, and Earth Spirit, who's been, ignored for a lot of the other drafts, and this one has been banned every single game.
10 seconds
I think he
remaining.
was first or second
Dire team pick.
first phase as well. Oh, there it is. Rubik tonight pick. Don't want to give that off to Frogos again. It also, a great hero against OD, which again has made it through the first ban phase and not picked up either in these 2 games. At some point, you have to end the gentleman's agreement and just go for the OD to win. I mean, it's a best of 3 series. One of them have to grab it here.
Yeah, I mean, I agree
5
that once you pick up
remaining.
Rubik, it makes it pretty hard to pick into it. But you could pick it with Rubik, theoretically, especially considering he's been been played in basically every single position at this point because he's severely overpowered. If Ice Frog is watching this, please nerf him. I'm sick of having to use my guaranteed quote-unquote 10% of the time ban in my pubs every single time. Very frustrated playing it, but Rubik is a good pick because it's very safe, right? It's good against a lot of heroes. If I'm thinking of a counter to Rubik, not that you necessarily want to counter a position 4, but it feels like whatever. He's just super safe. So we're gonna see Ogre again. Will he go with the 3rd game in a row shield or whatever the hell it's called?
Dire team pick.
I'm actually gonna look up the name real quick. Fire shield. I knew it was gonna be super generic. I don't even question myself.
I mean, you heard Sammy Boy. That ability is not good. He just wrote it off when they brought it up. The 70% for 3 seconds. He said he was not a position 5 player, so he might not grab it, but I don't think Fire Shield is good. It's cool because people don't know what it does, though.
Yeah, that's the only thing I think it has going for it is the element of surprise that you don't know what the hell it is maybe at first, and you may underestimate how much damage you're actually doing to your target. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe if they get the win and we get Light Shader on the mic, we can ask him what the hell he's trying to do. Maybe he's trying to be a trendsetter here, but Ogre first pick is really something else. And well, there he is. Old Dirty does end up showing up. And when you have the Rubik already by his side, there's not too many extra threats out there.
My major concern with how they're going to play against this one is suddenly you have the save from OD. Rubik's actually got a save now if he gets the Aghanim Shark. He can lift people and pull them back with telekinesis, but they're going to need a lot more damage. The first game from the Raiders, they did win with the Ogre Magi. There's somebody who can do a lot of damage as position 4, but not great against Rubik. He can just throw the clockwork out of the cogs. He struggles to deal with anyone. OD is an excellent save against him. Already I'm favoring what Arkosh have going on here. I don't feel like clockwork was the pause 4 pick.
Yeah, and now you forced in double melee support, which can be abused horribly. I mean, even with 3 bans or 4, however many bans you get in the second phase, it's not enough to be able to remedy that situation, sadly. Yeah, Clockwork feels very underwhelming in this patch so far, from what I've seen.
You do have the jetpack though, that is so cool. Flying through the skies, being able to trap people in cogs. And
that's a cool shard, not Fire Shield. Replace it.
5 seconds remaining.
Well, you think
could gift shards? That would be nice.
Give a jetpack on the Ogre Magi, you're thinking, instead of a Fire Shield? He's got some fuel to work with there.
What if they made shard just for one day, just become the rocket for every hero that bought shard? That would be a fun day of Dota.
Dire team back.
If you're listening, trademark Suns fan, thank you.
If you're listening,
Yeah,
you're
I'm
not allowed
with
to
you,
implement it.
I mean, they've implemented many of my ideas with 0 credit, I might add. 0. But that's okay. Forced to forgive.
10 seconds remaining.
No bitterness here at all, as we
Nope,
have the
not
first
at
two
all.
picks. I mean, I agree with you, John. If I had to pick a draft right here, the first two from Arkosh is leaps and bounds better looking than the side of Raiders right now. The support melee duo doesn't seem tantalizing. I don't think this is a shift back to a 3-position clockwork, but we'll just see what we can kind of gain from the bans here moving forward. More respects onto that core position for Pale Horse's side. They get rid of the PL, and then an earlier ban on the Nature's Prophet this go around.
Makes sense to me. I mean, it's I think that's Gremlin's best hero. He is so annoying to deal with those greater trains. There's a bug right now where you can't see them. Actually, that was featured on 2-Based versus Arkosh last week. 2-Based pulled that one out against them. The greater trains, the regular ones with a certain cosmetic. It's ridiculous.
Oh
no.
Very pay to win in that case. Thought Dota was not pay to win, gentlemen. Interesting. League of Legends creeping in. Surely one day we'll get there. The cosmetics.
They implement this new ability and don't go through every single cosmetic on the hero to make sure it works, right? Oh, where's the quality? Where's the quality?
I mean, all they have to do is outsource that to the community, much like Overwatch.
I don't like being a
Valve's job. You know what? I said I wasn't gonna do it. I really enjoy punishing people, so Valve made the right choice. We don't even need shards to incentivize. I'm gonna be looking at Overwatch cases and just screwing these idiots that feed down mid over and over again.
Suns fan the People's Court. I like it.
I hope
very
he doesn't
slow draft.
I hope he doesn't get in charge of anything too important like people's lives. Just one day Suns fan comes on Dota angry and just ban everybody. Anyways, there's the Spirit Heroes,
yes,
finally.
This is very true.
There we go. This is something I wasn't really expecting from here. I think we were talking about it between the games. It's not really something AMB plays too much. Falls back on the Templar Assassin quite a bit, but it rounds out any draft very nicely. And jump on the back line. It's a lot of time, very hard to get on top of the OD. You've got the 2 charges of the Silence, so you can heavily reduce his damage with that Arcane Orb. It's too good to pass up here. I wouldn't mind to see a Storm Spirit with a Orchid, but Void Spirit works better getting on the back line, being Rubik and blowing him up at like, I don't know, the post-laning phase. If you can play faster with him is basically what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, we get to see the old classic OD Mirana comp, and the beauty about this is you have no idea what positions either of these heroes are playing. OD can play 2, 3, 4 Mirana, basically anything as well. And there's not really a save, right, for this combo. Like, you can hookshot in afterwards, but the fact that you've already taken your 2 melee supports and now you've added a 3rd melee in your off lane, yeah, I don't know what they can do against this combo.
What you're saying is they should pick techies here on Arkosh. They have
that will ruin the draft, yeah. There's one range hero to counter that guy, thankfully.
We have the Juggernaut picked up, somebody who's very good against the Clockwork. You suddenly have no threat with that Battery Assault, getting on top of him, countered out by your safe lane carry. OD can save himself, Rubik can toss him out. This support lineup looks absolutely awful, and they've got an all right amount of damage here, but they're going to need a very heavy damage safe lane carry. I think Ricky does fit in with the Mars, being able to hop in him while he's inside the arena and keep people locked down would be a good option here. On the side of Arkosh, I'm not sure. You two, any thoughts?
Timbersaw.
10 seconds remaining.
Okay.
Screw him over. Okay. 4 melee. I don't even care what the last pick is. Just pick Timbersaw. Because OD and Mirana can play any position, so you can just fit them in wherever the players are most comfortable. But, I mean, you can't pick 4 melee and get away with this. There's no way. Like, if you're Byzantine... I was going to say Byzantine Empire, the Byzantine Raiders, do you have to pick a ranged hero here? Is it, like, can you win with 5 melee these days?
But
Void Spirit's kind of like, he has mobility, so it doesn't feel like a melee hero necessarily, but
everybody gets in close,
still.
so while I like the idea of a Timbersaw, but even something like Enigma, you know, it's like, just drop the black hole. True. Everybody wants to fight in that. Midnight Pulse, they all have to fight in that. Enigma would also be a pretty solid pickup. I think that they're in a rough spot with these first 4 picks. They all want to be in close. They all need to be in close. And we already have an elusive Arkosh side and then a core who's happy to kind of get in there. So a lot to fill with this last pick.
Yeah, I favor them for that reason. I think Clockwork has an easier time getting on top of people, but there's too much save The carry deals with it so well. Somebody else who can kind of sit in front, a dangler, so to speak, would be a decent way of rounding out Arkosh here.
Dangler.
Don't know if they specialize in the old angle dangling or not. Slark band.
That sounds like a Gremlo specialty.
Really? I thought Gremlo avoids confrontation. Janglers love confrontation. Gremlo is a coward when he plays.
I guess I was thinking more in the sexual terms, which definitely is a Gremlo thing. So.
Gremlo OnlyFans. Gremlo. I don't know. I can't work with this.
Man, I can't wait for that account to actually pop up for real. I will pay money.
Alright, that's
thinking
ban, but of course,
Batrider. Oh
Batrider's
man,
still out there, and he's great against a lot of melee heroes who are just.
I don't
stuck
think
in
a
there.
pick exists that is good that will round out this lineup, gentlemen. I mean, you need a hard carry like Medusa, but
10 seconds remaining.
I don't think that's going to be enough. I mean, OD is really good against Medusa, depending on what position
5 seconds
OD is, I
remaining.
suppose. But
I mean,
yeah,
Slark would have done it, right? Slark.
Yeah, Slark was a good ban. Slark was a for sure.
I don't know. Maybe just back on how broken Ricky is right now. I know I keep bringing the hero up, but all you really need is the Battle Fury and the Egg himself. But the damage you can dish out is absolutely insane. The jump you have with it is pretty. That's a hero with jump, but it's never gonna come online. It's gonna get absolutely bodied by the Batrider in lane.
5 melee though, gentlemen. 5 melee coming out from the Raiders. They're raiding in with their fists. Are they going to do it? Can they take the game 3 or not? Sunfan, you're shaking your head. What's that mean? You have to actually go for Arkosh?
So, Arkosh Gaming, this is like I could be an idiot here. I'm sure Sammy Boy will correct us, but this looks like the biggest outdraft I've seen in the entire tournament. Which means I will have to go for Byzantine Raiders because I made a vow never to support Slacks again. So God help me.
And for you, Neff.
I can't be on Arkosh's side, but I gotta all my
Understandable.
It's gotta be for Arkosh here. As much as they all chat me when I'm casting. It's them. They got this game.
All right, my panel begrudgingly willing to go with the side of Arkosh on this one, but we'll hear if the casters feel the same way or not. We head to a very quick break, but when we come back, it's time for MLP, John X Fire, and special guest Sammy Boy. They'll be on the mic.
Whew.
Phantom Assassin?
Be a rough one.
Phantom Assassin?
All right, so I might be in the bathroom for 20 minutes. The game might be over by that point. Just letting you guys know in advance.
All right.
BRB.
Sammy, your thoughts?
These people have really limited hero pools. I mean, also knowing their players, it's really limited. This first pick Rubik, I'm pretty sure they have no idea what to do. If you look at their past like 12 games, they played only Rubik and Shadow Shaman. Those are the only 2 4 positions they've played. And you obviously don't really want to pick Shadow to Rubik. So like, that's where the draft got kind of messed up. And I think Byzantine didn't know how to respond. And since then, they're like on the back foot.
Prepare for battle.
Yeah, 1 Rubik pick, and then they don't really know what to do, unfortunately.
Top is missing.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are here for our 3rd game between Arkosh Gaming and the Byzantine Raiders. It's MLP Dota, John X and Sammy Boy. And boys, we have 2 very interesting drafts. Of course, the panel did point out the fact that there is an all-melee draft on the Byzantine Raiders. Sammy, I'll start with you. What do you think about this? Do you agree with this draft from the Raiders?
It's definitely an interesting draft from Dyer. I think they kind of got pushed out of their comfort zone after the first pick Rubik from Arkosh. That's been a hero they've really prioritized. And normally when Rubik is banned, as some teams have actually first banned Rubik versus them, they would pick the Shadow Shaman instead. But Arkosh, instead of banning Rubik, instead chooses to take it immediately. And Rubik has a nice matchup versus Shadow Shaman. And it seemed after that Byzantine Raiders were kind of on the back foot, not really sure what to take, starting with Overclock as your support duo. Their 5-position player also seems to play the same heroes every game. In a sense, he's always on Ogre, Undying, all these melee heroes. And I think when they ran out of those ranged 4s, they still wanted to pick their tanky melee 5 position, and they ended up with this kind of weird, janky draft that I can see how they can win the game, but it is going to take higher levels of execution for them to win for sure. They're going to need to win their lanes, and lanes are kind of looking rough, so hopefully we don't see one team kind of snowball out of control here.
No, you know what it is. Byzantine raiders are they're just playing at the end. Dakota said it. They just want to raid with their fists. They're going by history. If you know your history, the Fourth Crusade, Constantinople was sacked, formerly known as Byzantine or Byzantium. So I don't know if that means they're from Byzantine or are raiding Byzantine, because if they are raiding Byzantine, you're raiding with 5 million is a rough one. You can already see in all the lanes, as mentioned by Sammy, it's not going to shape up well. I'm looking at Murderer up against Gremlo's Bat. PA into Bat last pick. Like, the last pick PA is just... It's such a difficult Murder to get a hold off, and Crow is just going to be going behind, arrowing the creeps. There's not much Murder can do to really, I don't know, set up this lane, and Light Shader's just got his work cut out for him here.
Yeah, it's not going to get too bad until the later levels. I think the PA Ogre can definitely win the first couple levels, but you know, as the lane goes longer, it's obviously going to get worse for the PA. Hopefully, they can try to make 1 or 2 kills happen before probably level 4 or 5 on Bat Rider. If they can do that, it'll probably be pretty easy to stabilize the lane. Might require a tri-lane from Frugos, however.
But it doesn't look like they're going to get the space to get that done. Even down mid, right? Like, we see OD slide through. It wasn't banned in a lot of the drafts in this day, at least in this series. It slides through for Canis Vulpus. He's already building Alien Mana Banana, forced to Fairy Fire up and beat that sub he just sent out. So even down mid, it's just not shaping up well. I mean, Alien Mana Banana is getting EXP, but I don't think that's all he wants from this lane.
Courier snipe down in the bottom lane, but absolutely, the mid lane is definitely going to be down for the OD side. I mean, theoretically. Lane also down for the bit of Radiant. Like I said, I think the best shot that Dire have to stabilize the game is to bring the Clockwork, try to kill the Bat Rider a couple times, and then eventually kind of overwhelm the bot tower. They might need to even bring 5 heroes to overwhelm bottom, honestly, but they're willing to bring enough heroes to things. I think they can stabilize the game.
Things are looking pretty darn good for Arkosh to get started. You guys already talked about it, but the lanes are looking very, very strong for the Radiant. Just looking at Alien Mana Banana, he's having a very rough time, but bot lane is, the action was happening. We do see a bit of a rotation out from Frugos. Frugos still level 1, just about to hit that level 2 mark, so doesn't really have the cogs out, and he has been spotted by the ward there. So they are well aware that he's trying to make a bit of a rotation onto Canis Vulpus, which does seem like a very important rotation to make, considering how the lane is going.
Gremlo might go for a dive up on top. He has 5 stickies on the PA. He's turning around, decides not to go for it.
Shows you the confidence of Arkosh, right? Like, just kind of left the Bat Rider by himself, down to the triangle. And they're pretty confident that Gremlo is just going to have a pretty nice time up against this dual lineup.
Frugos got another courier, and he might also get the Jugs courier. He's got 3 couriers so far. We'll see if he gets a 4th one here. Be interesting.
Very nice.
Might see it. The Juggernaut is sending out his boots here. We'll see.
Are scanning.
No vision on it. He's just going to have to take a wild guess.
Yeah, doesn't get
Radiant's
it.
bottom tower is under attack.
Hey, what's going to be all right?
Goat and Crow both moving to secure the runes in the mid lane. Light Shader as well. Rune does spawn top.
Light Shader's got it on the Ogon. Well, of course, they wanted to give it over to the Void Spirit, who does still just have an empty bottle right now. It still feels like it kind of just favors Arkosh that they didn't get the power rune onto Alien Mana Banana this time around.
Absolutely. Whenever you're playing any of these spirit heroes, prioritizing those power runes. #1 objective.
Definitely is, and you still see Alien Mana Banana despite that rough laning start. He's still so EXP, but that disparity in last hits is really piling. 14-3 up against our OD 22-8, and Canis Vulpus is only limited by his early procs on the Essence Flux. Not a high chance, so I mean, not a lot of mana if it does proc, so his pool is always kind of hanging low. Arkosh still just being aggressive in these lanes. You see Gremlo up top again, keeping that pressure up, and Murderers, he is still finding last hits as a PA, to be fair, but they are in a bit of trouble here with Light Shader, just a tad bit. Not going to commit. It's a slower start for Byzantine Raiders, and if you have this lineup, right, who are you going to look for to give you that momentum come, say, mid-game, past the 10-minute mark, let's say? Is it all down to A and B on that Void Spirit?
I think it's going to be up to A and B on the Void Spirit, as well as Cube on the Mars. The supports in this game are going to have a really rough time getting things done. I think it's going to come down to good usages of Arena, and the Arena itself is not going to be enough. It comes down to using the Void Spirit to combine with the Arena somewhere on the map to probably be able to find a good fight. We see on the mid lane, Crow might go for an arrow on the Void Spirit.
Nice arrow with that.
Canis Vulpus not to commit.
I guess there's not really much he can throw out right now. The level 1 Arcane Orb, Alien Mana Banana. Still having a very rough time. I mean, it's almost like they're just kind of threatening his life. And actually, bot lane, Cube very low on the Mars, almost going down. I believe he had just about 50 HP before that salve came out, but he is barely going to survive. And it's gonna be right, or maybe not. They are making the rotation back in for him, but Pale Horse doesn't have the spin up yet, so they'll have to leave him be.
Gremlo might be in trouble. He just cut a double wave, but it looks like he is getting collapsed on by Light Shader and Fugas, as well as Alien Mana Banana with a double damage. Oh, Alien Mana Banana misses. Nice first blood.
And misses the actual step, but he is going to find get the first.
He overstep bot. I'm gonna have to TP out as well. Might die. Oh, nice. Gets that lane.
Doesn't. Pale Horse just barely out on that one, but that mid lane is being forced in with the siege creep while all this has been happening. This is one of the Arkosh specialties. They seem to really be able to just split up the map and force you to make all these rotations that you don't necessarily want to make. As you can see, 3 heroes in the mid lane. They'll split up now, but Canis, as the media hammer, into the ball misses, and now they can jump back in. Light Shader is there with the fire, but Goat is also around with the Fate Bolt and the lift. Looks like it probably won't amount to much unless he can get in range for an... But he...
Meanwhile, top lane, Raider is getting gone by Gremlo. Looks like he's going to get chased down here. Blinks away, but I think Gremlo is going to be able to get him with the chase down.
That he is. Murderer does very nice play there from Gremlo. Well, the creeps are following, and he doesn't have a TP, but I don't believe there's going to be any hero from Byzantine that can actually kill him off.
That's a really big solo kill. It's going to slow down the PA's game significantly. And, also the Batrider was playing in a position where I feel like if the PA had asked for a TP or support the TP earlier, they could have turned it around on him as well. So maybe some unfortunate communication going down there.
They're just being punished for not diving back, and the supports are still really under level though. Like Light Shader's level 3, Frugas level 3. The ramp clockwork here not going to be as fast. You're looking at the stall out in the hook shot.
Cube, they have the Omni. Do they know where Cube went? Looks like they do. They run straight into him. They commit the Omni. He is still alive, but not for long, surely. He's going to find nice TP. Is he going to make it?
Oh, he's out.
Ooh. Very nice TP.
Frugas is diving. Canis Vulpus is looking for the Astral Meteor now. Probably is going to find it. Might get canceled.
Aether Remnant going to cancel that off, and the arrow being blocked up by Light Shader.
Clockwork here.
He is, and he does get it. Alien Mana as well, and he will punish the Mirana for that. Canis, I don't really think he can do too much here with the bundle coming out. Will be forced to just back off.
Gremlo, however, when all of this is going down, is sitting top lane. He has max sticky, he's really close to boss. All the top net worth in the game, about to pass. This Batrider is going to have a ridiculously free time. There's no save on Dire. Also, 5 melee versus Batrider. Look to this Batrider to maybe carry this game. Absolute monster of a last pick, or one of their last picks.
He might just be dead here as well. The lasso's up if he wants. Flame break. No lasso necessary. Gremlo, he wants to eat this week. He's getting a lot of kills for his team, and back to the fountain for him. Get a reset, get his BOTs up. And this is getting very scary. Sammy, you've already pointed this out, but this Batrider, he is going to be really out of control this game.
I think Byzantine need to consolidate their heroes somewhere. So that can mean that they either bring the PA top and they bring their supports to constantly try to chain feed off this Batrider, or it means that they're going to bring their off lane carry and probably even mid to the bottom lane to try to secure tier 1 area for someone to farm, because keeping the lane static like this against Batrider, leading matchups on the mid lane can't hold this.
Hey, he's dropped the sanities and pick straight off the bat. They are very good. They hold down the OD, but it's not enough. Frugos, he's going to go down as well. Now Gremlo, he wants the lasso and he does get it. AMB being caught out. They even got a bounty rune waiting there for them as a small consolation prize.
Well.
They shot the money. He does get it. Still going to pop his life, and Venus wants it for himself. The value play with the media hammer. He'll even get the T1 tower. They can punish.
Man, that is just gutsy now for Byzantine Raiders. 3K behind at 10.5 minutes in. That is a huge deficit this early on. Murder is just trying to find farm bot, but he is finding a little bit more than Pale Horse. He is trying to rush that Battle Fury, but anywhere Murderer goes, Gremlo is sure to follow with these early BOTs up.
Not wrong.
It's an interesting decision. In the first game, both teams were kind of collapsing around this mid tower, but in this game, I think Dire is, Byzantine are too weak to collapse on the mid tower and actually hold it. They need to try to consolidate their heroes in a side lane. You see where everyone is. Mars is farming top, PA is farming bottom. This is never going to actually progress the game to a state where they're not just going to get picked off across the map, right? They need to actually group their heroes on one side of the map. It does seem like they're choosing to group their heroes top, which is an interesting place to group. They have their supports wrapping. Maybe this could be a really big kill for both of them.
Rune activate. Astral is going to be there. Arena out from QB, just locking them down.
Going down as well.
He does into Crow now, but here comes Gremlo. He's going to try and turn by himself. Can he actually do this? A lot of heroes around, but Frugos is still up, and it looks like Byzantine don't want to fight. There's no lasso.
Hey, man, turn back around to go back in.
No astral charges though.
Away. That was a great play from Byzantine Empire, right? They took it surrounding top tower. They consolidated their heroes using their Mars and Void Spirit together. So great stuff from them. Gremlo's still chasing though.
He is. He's got lasso in 1 second. Alien Man and Banana going to turn around, but they might be able to turn back around. Light Shader is going to back, but Gremlo, he is still keeping tabs inside of Byzantine Raiders, but that'll be enough. They do back off. Still a very successful team fight, as you said, for the Raiders.
Yep. It's gonna require them to make continuous plays like that. This game is in a state where it obviously doesn't favor them, and if they let the game stay passive and they don't let they keep the game state the same, it's just gonna continue getting worse for them. So I like that they're being proactive. Now it comes down to continuing to be proactive, right? They have Mars Arena in 16 seconds. So if it was me, I would be smoking again, which it looks like they may be doing, but trying to find another way to use Arena as soon as it's cooldown, keep tempo high. That's the way that you're going to fight your way through this game.
And they both into the triangle now. Gremlo has that lasso up, and they want Alien Man or Banana, or maybe QB.
Looking for Murderer. Yep.
Oh, but he hasn't realized it yet. The lasso going to come out. Sanity's being dropped, and he does go down. Light Shader, he came in to try and help out. He's a sitting duck now. QB's going to try and maybe come in, but no, he wants to turn back around. The Remnant from Goat is not going to land, but it won't matter. They came for the price they wanted. They are going to back off.
This is kind of a direct result of, Dire not taking the initiative, right? You're letting the enemy make the plays on you first. They get their cooldowns back up, and they're kind of just sitting content, continuing to farm. In a game like this, I really feel like it's important to them tempo. And on the side of Arkosh, right, all they really have to focus on is counterplaying and using their Batrider lasso whenever it's up. Oh, chuck in on top lane.
Yeah, the Batrider, they want Gremlo dead. He does run out of Firefly, and the speed he's gonna land, but no, the Astral Canis focus there to back up his teammate. Gremlo's gonna survive. Go with a nice looking down the bars, and Frugos is fine. It's a more now. They want Light Shader, and they will probably just Light Shader is gonna have to just gank for the team. He will. QB does get himself up.
Once again, just not bringing enough heroes on the side of Byzantine Empire. If the Void Spirit was there to start, maybe they're able to make something happen out of that. But if you're making this play with only your Mars plus supports, especially when your supports are this under, his Ogre is still low, right? there's not actually going to be enough damage to succeed in any of these plays. I think bringing the Void Spirit and maybe even bringing the PA is going to be necessary. You know, this is one of those games where, because your power level on the supports is kind of low, you're going to need to bring your PA plus your Void Spirit plus your Mars and actually combine all three of those heroes' strengths together to make things happen.
Is under attack.
And that was the first hookshot we've seen out of Frogos since he got his level 6. They were waiting for a long time for that. Doesn't line up the way they want to. The good thing for them is, as you mentioned, these cooldowns are low. Just need to find an angle, but look at these wards coming out from Arkosh. Just keeping an eye behind that tier 2, right at the triangle as well. The sentry is right in point to spot it out, so they're going to clear some space for themselves, but Arkosh just had a lot of information to play with on hand, and Byzantine Raiders need to be on top of at least getting some control back in the map to shove in that bot tier 1, but top tier 2 is just being shoved by himself.
Yep. It's good that they're starting to group up. Arkosh has a ton of casual catch. They have the Blink Dagger on OD, they have Astral into Echo, they have Lift from really long range. They just have a lot of spells that are coming from really long range and are very casual to throw out, which means that if you're playing split versus this Arkosh lineup, they're constantly going to be getting picked off and constantly caught all across the map. So I look at their grouping their heroes, stop the bleeding, and try to progress the game as a group. Obviously, the map state is pretty bad for them, losing the tier 2 top to Pale Horse, but not sure if there's actually much they can do about that at this point. Oh, hooking on mid lane.
They got the hook.
I'm not sure if that's the target you want to go on here.
They're trying to burst him down, but the Astral again coming up, saving the day, and now they're going to turn it around. Gremlo, he has the lasso, he'll settle for the Ogre. They'll take what they can get. While Goat is looking for a bit more here on the Rubik.
They see Pale Horse under a sentry. They might try to make a play on him.
They're
gonna dust him up.
They do dust him, but how do you lock him down?
Yeah,
it's like they won't be able to.
Murderer is rushing the BKB here, so probably that's the big thing. He's gonna be trying to play for, trying to find this BKB on the PA, but use BKB to fight in D. But into this BKB, it's very difficult for PA to the fight in anything other but a pick.
Yeah, it's also gonna. You still also worry about the lasso, right? Like if that lasso is up and you BKB without seeing where the bat is, especially now since Gremlo has his blink up, it's still for Murderer in joining these early fights. And you can see Arkosh again. They know they're strong. They're just invading that jungle. They've still got good wards on the cliff into the top jungle side, so just playing to their strengths, denying some farm. And Murderer is just forced to constantly play in these unsafe lanes. He TP's back right in time, so he's not going to be caught out, but he really needs to rush that BKB. It's still a ways off. Like, we're talking about 2.4k gold away, and that timing's just going to be fairly slow for him this game.
Yeah, the BKB might honestly not be enough. I think a more mature team might realize that this BKB is not going to be enough, and they're going to have to play for some BKB Deso timing and try to stall the game out for a long period of time. I'm not sure Byzantine is going to play the game like that, but that might be what they have to do if they want the best chance to win. Definitely a difficult game for them, though, no matter what.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
What was a bit of a scout
play on mid-wave.
Scouting out the Roshan, just trying to make sure that Arkosh wasn't trying to sneakily do it, and Gremlo, he's going to TP in. Looks like he wants to try and make a play. Pings around on
Gremlo does
Frogos.
blink forward onto Frogos.
Does, but a nice cogs out is going to block them. Going to walk away, but bot lane, Pale Horse trying to go on an Alien Man at Banana. He's going to TP away. He's going to be just fine. Looks like Arkosh, for once, are not going to get what they came for. They are going to leave empty-handed, or maybe not. They're running towards them, locked into the triangle now. They are still
might
trying.
Get caught here. Nice recognition by them, backing off, but they are under a ward in the dire big jungle there, so Arkosh might decide to continue and make a play there. They are standing under vision. This could be a really good fight for Arkosh. Steep ward. Great ward from Arkosh here. Smoke up or auto multi from them.
go. Canis.
Astral. That's an alien man banana. That's the best target.
It is the best target, but a nice hook shot going to stop everything from happening. They're still going with that Astral to save the life of Battlemeter. To be fun for them. It's Frugos. The clockwork is going to die. Now QB needs to back off, but Alien Man Banana coming back in onto Canis Bolt. He wants sweet revenge. A nice Astral out. Going to avoid the spear, and they do get A and B, but now Murderer.
And
he's going to join in. Blink out. Murderer still wants to find a target, and Gremlo is sticking around a bit.
Still here. Gremlo is being a little too cheeky. I'm not sure. He might get punished for this, and he is.
Oh, he will, but
Canis Vulpes is here as well. I think you need to run away, my friend.
He's going in. He wants to fight. I don't know about this.
Connecting behind.
Light Shader, he's going to stun him up. Pale Horse is here with Goat. They're going to go onto Light Shader straight off the bat. And it looks like they should be able to afford to get this kill. But can they find that pesky PA? Murderer, he doesn't actually have a TP available. It's, there's none.
Way through. Oh, he missed quelling the
Canis knows. Canis knows. Yeah. He might have seen the no TPs.
Oh boy.
Pale Horse?
Oh boy.
No, he blinks away. Nice play by Murderer. Very, very scary ordeal there for him, I'm sure.
I wish Murderer would have TP'd a little sooner to that engagement. If he had showed up just a little quicker, I think it could have gone a lot better for Byzantine Raiders, as I think Arkosh were overextended.
Yeah, it was definitely a bit too long there. We saw a couple of moments where it looked icy, but they do manage to overwhelm them again. The early numbers. We are seeing the BKB slowly built up, and Murderer is queuing into the Desolate deck. We're going to see some burst damage on that A I mentioned. They just need to wait out for the PA spike in that matter. They do still, again, these low cooldown spells ready.
Looks like Arkosh is deciding to go for the Roshan. We'll see if Byzantine are able to scout this out. We do have Rocket Flare available.
I could have.
They have their BKB on PA too. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad time to fight if they decide to scout it out. Flare is going, they scout it out now.
They have time.
They see go a little too far forward. I don't know if you can be there. He off on PA as well. Omnislash coming through.
Yeah, Lasso, Omnislash all flying through. Pale Horse, he does get Light Shade, but that's all he gets. And it looks like they're going to stop the Roshan now. Maybe not the Moonlight Shadow. They could try and reinitiation, but they're just too far. We all know with that rocket flare that the Roshan has stopped, and Light Shade is actually calling for a smoke, it seems.
I think they're going to try to fight as soon as their, ogre is up. Gotta use this arena. I'm not sure if that's the best course of action. I think stalling out the Roche is more than what you ask for.
Oh, he's been caught. That's a big target. Canis Vulpes just all over him. Back to the Roshan.
He does have buyback on the Void Spirit if they just use it, but it's looking like they might just see the Roshan at least.
Frugos gonna have to revive it for the hook shot Aegis steal attempt, or maybe he will. They do play.
They might look for it. Arkosh are nervous about this Roche.
I think it's worth shot to hook shot in, right? Just with the clockwork alone.
It definitely is.
It's early, but Murderer gonna jump in. Aegis Pale Horse. He does get it, and he will die straight off the bat. Canis Vulpes needs to find a way out, but he does have the hammer ready. Still the PA to get himself away. Ultimately, Aegis was essentially denied off immediately. Still not really too big of a deal for Arkosh, though. They are winning out pretty much all these trades.
It was still a great play, I would say, by Byzantine. You get the Aegis, your carry gets out. I think that's as much as you can ask for, right?
Yeah, it's certainly probably the best result for them not trading. They're still keeping that stall game up. Murder is just one part away from the Deso. Pretty much has that first Mithril Hammer in terms of gold. So just about 1.6 left, 1.7 I guess, considering, although Canis Vulpes again.
So good on this OD, just catching out constant targets, and they find one. Light Shader. Go with the Rubik plays, does catch another.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
With Arkosh, you just can't give this OD away to Canis. He's just too good with it.
The amount of casual catch and reach that this hero provides is really hard to play, especially for the uncoordinated teams. So definitely surprising to see them get OD away.
Oh, Lasso! And he was trying to TP, yeah. The Lasso came in right in the nick of time. A nice hook shot. Remo has the bullwhip though. Arrow gonna land. That'll be it. And with that, it looks like they're going to try high ground in the mid lane.
Yep, they have some big items. They have style on Pale Horse. They have BKB basically completed on Gremlove, although it is at base. Crow as well has just finished his Guardian Greaves, so big items all around for Arkosh. So maybe end the game here.
Oh, Alien Banana. Been caught out again. Now Kane has just jumped in. He's so confident. They have the Omni. They can just keep fighting.
Oh, they don't have Astral to save. Ellis might have messed up here. He does.
Yeah, he has gone down. Murderon going to go on to Goat now, and Goat is set to die, or maybe not. He's still alive, but eventually he does go down. The Crow, he's going to be fine.
Well, yeah, the Desolator finished up on PA now. They're working on their agonies on Void Spirit. His game has not progressed at all. You know, isn't worth it. I think it's maybe lower than it was 10 minutes ago, to be completely honest with you. So definitely going to be a rough game for him, and he needs a BKB. So it's a difficult game. I think I even say that instead of this Agony choice, he might have to just go BKB, even if he has a point booster, because he's just getting caught by Astral at the start of the fight. This Astral is very casual, so it's very easy for Radiant to throw it out, and then all of a sudden he's dead immediately. No way to save him.
I mean, on the opposing side, they do have this blink up now for Byzantine Raiders, right? So they've got the blink on their Mars. They could just start with Cubey instead, throw his body out first, and have Alien Man Banana kind of follow up after he throws out the Spear, throw out the God's Rebuke in Arena. That could be one way for Byzantine Raiders to play around the fact that Alien Man Banana is not going for any of these defensive items, I suppose.
I think the best way to do it is to honestly use your supports with buyback. So, tell your Ogre and Clockwork to both save buyback. I mean, Clock is probably better because he has Hook, but it might get caught bottom. Frugas does get maybe caught by this smoke. They see the PA's Courier too, but Murderer has no keep.
Lost. Gonna get Astral Murderer. Like he's no TP available.
He gets a Courier.
He's gone.
He didn't kill his Courier in time, so he does get his TPs and is able to TP away. Good heads up play from him.
With that Arkosh
on the edge for him though. Like Murderer, he still kind of wants to use that's with a BKB now, but they're forced to keep waiting for that. And Arkosh, they're pretty hungry for blood. Like they lost a couple of fights that they probably didn't feel they should have lost in that way, and they've only really got one out their objective left. I think it's time to just clump up in that triangle. This is under a ward, so Raiders are at least aware of the movement out here from Arkosh, but it doesn't feel like they have enough in the tank to really fight outside or high ground, or commit too much outside at this point.
Yeah, I think the best fights they can take are at their high ground. Like I said, using buybacks. I think the supports are really important. These guys need to be able to walk in, hopefully eat a bunch of spells so that the Void Spirit and Mars can get all their spells off. And then, they're going to eat spells, they are going to die, but hopefully they both have buyback, press their buybacks, TP's in. And then I think if they do that, they can actually win a fight. But if you let your Mars or Void Spirit get initiated on, the fight is going to be very difficult to play.
Moonlight Shadow going to be popped here. Arkosh, they would love a target.
They have a really good base ward for on the side of Arkosh. We'll see if Light Shader places a sentry here, but this base ward is going to give all the vision they need. They finally does place a sentry, but just too late.
It's way too late. Light Shader, he is going to die. He does have buyback in case he needs it, but it looks like he probably won't. Now Arkosh is going to go straight back to that die triangle and just continue dominating this map, not allowing Byzantine to get any form of fun.
Yep, PA is close to the bash. PA is top now in the game. He's caught up to Jug and actually surpassed Jug, which is kind of surprising to me. Jug is 1,000, 1,200 gold off Ags or so, gonna be that item coming up on him.
And he's also got a bot-up double damage rune now, so it's smoke time for Arkosh. Going to be hunting up in the top jungle. They have lost their wards, and it's now Byzantine Raiders' superior vision, so a bit of a blind smoke, not going to amount to too much, maybe just this outpost take right before the 30-minute mark though, so that's going to be additional EXP for Arkosh that Byzantine Raiders won't have, although they are showing their two big cores mid.
They are 100 gold off Ags and 100 gold off Basher on the PA, so it's really important that Byzantine get these items before taking an engagement. Basher is completed now, but the Void Spirit still needs 100 gold for his Agonies.
Still, the mid lane. Hanging, Alien Man of Banana, thinking about going to the low ground. This could be dangerous. They don't have the lasso.
Watching.
Didn't have the lasso. I think Goat had to go on with the lift, but they think better of it. They'll just leave it be for now. I mean, do Arkosh just wait for the next Roshan here, or is it just about the Aegis timing?
Play. Yeah, you really want this Aegis to siege high ground. I think it's not long as well, right? Another minute or so until Goat can start spawning. So I think waiting for it is probably the best. You have pretty good control of this. You're not worried about scaling either, right? Like OD, Bat, Jug versus PA, Void Spirit, Mars. I mean, I would say that Arkosh probably have the better scaling anyway. No rush for them this game. Take it very chill. Just easy pick off with Bat Rider. When Lasso's down, chill, play the map, and continue building this gold lead.
Yeah, it's just widening. It's been steady at 12-15. The Ags is up. MB was, just on the wall ago, as you mentioned. BKB next for Void Spirit. So they're starting to find some answers here.
Gremlo in the mid lane has a Dangerous Rune. It might find Raider jumps on Goat right away. That might be an overextended.
He's faded. Alright, Arena is going to be dropped. Sanity's dropped as well. Murderer still alive. Gremlo going to pop his BKB. Murderer jumping back in onto Crow. The Mirana is going to die. Light Shader does go down, and so does Murderer, and Pale Horse just ripping them to shreds. Brugos has also been caught out. He's gone. And there aren't that many buybacks. There's only 2 available on Byzantine Raiders. I think this is high ground for Arkosh.
Might even be GG. Void Spirit and PA both bought out their items. They have no tier 2s left, so it's looking like Arkosh might just be able to do Megas here for at least 2 sets. DD on PA Horse as well still.
Are under attack.
Difficult for Byzantine Raiders. Even if they do hold out long enough, they will drop way too many objectives here. Now they can pick up super creeps, mega creeps quite for their PA. Even the Mars can kind of handle that, but it's the position you want to be in with this kind of draft. And Arkosh, they're just confident. Like, even if they don't get this next set of racks, they can just go for that Roshan, which respawns really fast.
Yep. Arkosh have had full map position for the past 10 minutes of this game. So they've just been having to farm and kind of wait for the PA or the Void Spirit to mess up, and that's kind of what we've seen, right? PA or Void Spirit, they both step up a little bit too far, immediately lassoed, astraled, and all of a sudden this fight looks kind of impossible for Byzantine. Like I said, I really think they need to use their supports' bodies more, try to send their supports in first, get vision, allow the PA and Void Spirit Mars to actually find good targets to jump on.
Another double damage rune at that top rune spot.
The back.
Yeah.
It's back.
That might be the third
Murder.
one.
Let's see Kane's Vulpus. He might go.
Nice.
And
they catch him out. They want to take down that Alien Man of Banana, and they do. Murderer doesn't know what to do here. He needs to jump in somewhere. Still does have the BKB, but they are eventually going to back off. Pale Horse does have Swift Slash and does commit. Jubei going to be targeted, and he does end up falling. He has buyback. I just don't know if it's going to be enough.
The left here, he might get it. Does get the arrow. Oh no.
The arrow, nice hook shot from Kruger trying to slow this down, but Pale Horse has the damage along with Canis Vulpus. No buybacks left. This definitely looks like it's the end of the game as the Meteor Hammer does fall and Pale Horse cleans up Brugos.
Canis Vulpus? Well, see, they're gonna go for it. There's no way they don't, right? Oh, they're not.
Crow does have the ghost.
Oh, Horse, get in there.
The DD Warplate has been called. Canis Vulpus, Rampage, or CSL disband. Brogos looks like he is gonna die. The game is indeed over. Arkosh managing to get a 2-1 victory over the Byzantine Raiders. But what a great series it was.
That was Arkosh has come out with his draft that works really well. Byzantine Raiders trapped themselves, and Sammy, you were pointing this out off comms. You mentioned that